I can tell
So
you
I was
some of the
thinking,
backstory, or some.
okay,
Again, this is stuff that we build the world together,
okay.
and a lot of you guys also just. Why don't we actually just go around the table first? Let's introduce ourselves and maybe some of our experience with D&D a little bit. The thing about this table is you guys have a very high level of experience. A lot of you guys are DMs yourselves. Um, I think all of you, four of you guys are DMs, four or five of you. And so you're getting that fix, the player fix. So why don't we just start off with Rebecca and then just kind of go down the line? Do you guys want me to start?
Lead the way.
Okay, I'll lead the way. My name's Asbal. People who kind of follow me on the stream and just in our YouTube, I have a lot of experience with D&D going back to when I was a kid, and we played all the way up till college, really. We stopped playing, then the pandemic hit, we restarted again, and we've been playing for the past year. But I've been playing a lot of other video games too, just like some of you guys, I'm sure. Some of you guys seem like very gamer oriented, which is nice. Like Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Dragon Age, The Witcher's, just Witcher 3, but all the expansions of The Witcher, Divinity 1 and 2. So basically a lot of CRPGs. And that's kind of my history. I just have a passion for it. And lately, this is just kind of what I've been doing. I haven't been playing too many video games, but I'd like to play more CRPGs like Planescape Torrent, which was like a classic, but apparently it's very good. And of course, the new Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 3. Take it away, Rebecca. Unless anybody wants to ask me any questions.
I'll go ahead. My name's
Sure.
Rebecca. I've been playing D&D since 2017, but when I started, I immediately went super hard into it, and basically I do a lot of D&D now. I DM on Tuesdays, and I actually DM Aaron's Tuesday group that we play out in Atlanta as well, Atlanta based there. I have another group that I play with on Thursday. That's a group that's a mix of DMs and players. So there's like 5 simultaneous campaigns happening with that group. But as much as I love DMing, I also really love playing. So when this came up, I was like, yeah, I want to get my play effects going. But yeah, I'm quick fun information, I guess. I'm an engineer by trade, and I got normally when I say fun information, I usually bring up the fact that I play D&D, but we're all doing that. I watch a lot of NHL hockey, so
Cool.
when I have an issue with trying to name a NPC, 90% of the time it's a hockey player. So that's the fun tidbit. Okay, cool. Anyone have any questions?
Welcome. We also did pick up kind of a pickup player from that game. He's like a cosplayer. He might play in our one shot that we got coming up as level 21 shot. Brannian, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Most people
Brannian?
don't use, yeah, brand yin. Like
Okay,
cereal
cool.
brand and yin and yang. That's the way I
Cool.
think of it. Yeah. Very, very fun. My name's Brandon. I would say I about have a solid 6-month experience of playing and about like a couple months worth of DMing. I've been more of like a long time watcher. I've been watching DM games all around YouTube for a solid like 3 to 4 years now. So I've been kind of addicted now when I finally have like proper equipment and finally truly getting involved. I'm a huge addict now. I can't like stop digging my little dirty fingers all around the DM and D&D world because it's just so much fun. I'm more of a strategy nerd guy. I usually play the games like Solaris, Civilization 6, Hearthstone 4. I'm a bit of that type of nerd. But I've been trying to get more to RPG stuff like New World and Skyrim and all those popular genres. But I guess a bit know about me. I'm in the military as a combat medic. I'm National Guard unit in Ohio. But on the day side, I'm just a regular store clerk. Nothing special. Yeah, that's pretty much it about me.
You're special to me. Welcome.
Thank you kindly. It's nice to meet you all.
Really nice
Can't wait
guy.
to play with you.
Why don't we go with Nicole next?
I've actually never DM'd. I started playing D&D last year, thanks to Ray actually, and I actually studied like artificial intelligence and philosophy, and I thought I was gonna go that route, like go into research for that. But life is weird, so now I'm like an entrepreneur for a manufacturing company that my dad and I set up together, and hopefully we can get like the factory set up and going by like early next year, and then it'll be an interesting experience. But yeah, like I think in general I'm like a huge gamer person. Like I was playing games before gamer girl was a thing, you know, so like since I was like 11 or so. So like I think I've pretty much played like pretty much every genre of game, and I'm gonna be playing Lost Ark next week, so I'm excited for that. About it.
Awesome. How about you, Ray?
So I've been playing D&D for about 4 years now, I guess, after a coworker brought me into it. I really like getting into it because it's like a really casual role-playing kind of game, which is a break from like playing World of Warcraft, Apex Legends and whatnot, which is really high-strung and competitive. So I really enjoy that. For my living, I work as an engineer for a medical device company that I'm pretty proud of. And that's about it.
Cool. Very cool. I think we got a pretty special group of people here. Experience level is pretty high, so I think we can kind of be more difficult. I was even thinking like, man, we could all start at like level 3, but you guys will probably just get to level 3 pretty easy, so we can just start at level 1.
Oh, are you gonna be doing XP or milestone?
Milestone.
Okay.
Because it's a pain in the ass to track XP. Right?
I don't know
Such a
anybody that
pain.
does XP anymore.
So this next part of the session is to kind of just kind of figure out what type of characters, classes, races maybe you want to play, and this is just open to you guys, so you guys can discuss amongst yourselves.
Real quick, how are we doing our roles? Are we?
Sure.
Is it best of 3 roles, or like how are we doing it?
There's 3 systems that I like.
Okay.
3 rolling systems. One is standard array. The second one is 4d6, and then you drop the lowest roll, right? The last one is what I call the dungeon coach method, or it's a dungeon coach. It was made by another DM. You roll 46 times 5, then you drop the lowest, or the last roll is then summed up to 72 to balance it out, similar to the standard array. So it's a less gambly kind of way to play. It's a way to balance it out. That's his method. But there is some potential for upside for the dungeon coach way. And if, say, you roll really low, I'm not out to like get you, you know. If you're really below 72, then we just bump it up to 72. If you're really way above 72, then it's like, well, we really want to, you know, get it up. Here comes Erwin.
She dressed up.
Yeah. She also backed her camera up a little bit.
That's awesome.
Erwin, hey.
Hey, so sorry. I totally lost track of time, and like my shower was cold. Like I had a whole bunch of problems.
Just pop right up. Well,
Yeah,
why don't you
sorry about
introduce
that.
yourself? Tell us maybe some of your experience with D&D. You're playing in Rebecca's game.
Yes. So I've played in a few campaigns. Some of them more so like, I wouldn't say like one-shotty, but they change a lot because it's a lot of players drop in and drop out and stuff like that happens. But I've been playing for probably about a year and a half, so I don't have like a whole lot of experience. But I love to dress up and I love to role play. I like the combat aspect of the game as well. Yeah, I'm fun and hopefully I'm excited to play with the rest of you guys.
Yep, she also killed Strahd in her Curse of Strahd game. She came on as Irina, which was a pre-generated character, and really kind of filled a pretty cool gap of a pretty pivotal character, I think, to the story, which was a lot of fun. And so it was just really nice to find you. It was difficult to find you, so I'm glad you stuck around, and you stuck around for, I think, about 30 sessions, something like that.
Oh, wow.
I loved it. That campaign was awesome. And I just thought, like, because I've played in other Curse of Strahd campaigns, but having Irina being a PC and just all of the like world building that you did, that you added, that wasn't part of like just the general book, really, I really liked that. And like the world Anvil stuff, I thought that was really awesome and badass. And I am super excited to play a new campaign with you.
Cool. And so basically everything's going good. We're just opening up the floor to discussion on what races, classes, and things like you guys want to play. I can just kind of guide you, but if you guys want to just open up and talk amongst yourself, that's cool too. Erwin, which just joined us, wants to play a character named Mina, which is a rogue. You don't have to tell me your subclass that you want to go into, but if you have like a plan for a subclass, that's also cool too. She wants to be a
go by
Gloomstalker.
her middle name. So I'm going to go by Istra.
Okay.
For me, I plan on going for a monk. Try for a halfling monk.
Right.
But if we want to try like find a good balance of the group, I'm also always down to change. I'm not really too stubborn about what I want to play.
Are there gonna be... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You go.
Are there gonna be a lot of like, like potions and stuff like that in case, if we don't have like a designated healer per se, we're gonna be all right? Is that like a...
One of the house rules in our game is potions heal for max.
Okay.
So that way and then we also do use the healing surge rule. It recharges every short rest, but its resource is hit dice. Your hit dice is based upon your class or multi-class. It's a variant rule. I think it's in the player's handbook or DMG, but basically it takes less emphasis off the healing bitch. So you don't have to play a cleric. You don't have to have a cleric in the party, even though clerics are pretty busted.
Clerics are incredibly busted. So currently I'm set to play a human warlock with the patron being the genie subclass, and I was debating doing like Pact of the Chain, just because I think that's a sort of interesting thing to have, that sort of companion character. I was looking to play more like a buff like sort of feature in this campaign. So if needed, I can always switch to a cleric. I will say I have about 5 different clerics that I can bust out if needed, that I'd be just as happy to play. I prefer just in general magic classes because I like the variance that you can do with a magic-based class. And I think the last time I checked, we had a monk in a fight also. That's pretty good on the sort of melee side. But if needed, I am open to play any class if needed.
I'm looking to be frontline, either fighter or barbarian, hopefully, if that can fit. And definitely going to be playing a Dragonborn to fill that role.
What's your how do you do ammo? Like, are you super strict about like keeping track of ammo and making sure we have enough? And
It's one of those things like where, as like these rangers or rogues like we had last campaign, start shooting a lot, and it's like they're just like endless arrows in their quiver.
yeah.
The hardcore rules is written is I think there's like 20 arrows to equip, and there's like items that can give you more quivers. I just don't keep track of it. I'm not a DM that's like over your shoulder making sure like, oh, let's check off because these are like one of those things that's just a nerf against the player. If D&D Beyond or a new system were to offer this where it would actually automatically keep track of it, I would use it. But for now, it's just not a big deal. And you can always apply nature or survival rules to fletch new arrows or go to the fletcher in town.
Well, since I was gonna use guns, I was like, okay, and guns are kind of rare. I was like, okay, where am I gonna get ammo? I guess I should be able to, make my own ammo or something.
Yeah, you
that
can
would
just
be
do it as
like
an
a-
artificer. You'll have proficiency
yeah,
in
as
it.
yes, with like my tinker's tools, and I could just like make some ammo and flavor it like that.
Item creation is like one of those like nuanced things. It's not like it's not critical to the story, but it can be interesting as a downtime activity where you're sitting there like you spend half the gold on creation materials and then you spend time doing it. And you have like tinker's tools or something like that. I'm just remembering like the gunsmith that I had from the first campaign. And it's just kind of the same idea where like Percy or whatever it is like crafting guns and materials and building things together. He played a fighter because I think he was a power gamer and he didn't want to actually make that class into a ranger, which is what it should have been. But whatever, because rangers were pretty weak at the time.
Gotcha.
Actually, let's go. Nicole is asking some great questions. I honestly looked at all the characters and what you guys kind of picked in the thing, and I didn't see a lot of overlap. So, Nicole, what did you think you wanted to play? Artificer, right?
Artificer. I'm thinking maybe like dual pistols,
Cool.
and for background, this character. I kind of sort of started making. I made her for a different campaign that ended, but I really like her. So she's kind of like
What's her name?
how do you say CC. So she's kind of like the how do you say it? Kind of like a mafia, like think mafia, right? So kind of like connections with the underground at the same in like Mercs maybe, but like imagine kind of like Italian Russian mafia kind of thing with like the dual pistols, and she has a little sass going. But I liked her. She was fun to act out. So
Do you want to be a part of the Thieves Guild in Stormbrook or like a rival Thieves Guild?
I'm not sure. If anything, since you were saying that gnomes are the ones that are really doing guns, I thought maybe in the background, whatever, since she's human, so you can say like there may be in a place like the humans and gnomes are kind of working together, and it's kind of like it's kind of where like the underground gets their supply of guns. That's kind of like rare in the world, maybe we could like do something like that.
How it worked with this other gunslinger is she kind of power gamed it a little bit too.
Oh, really?
She was like, she wanted to play like a halfling, but she was like, I want to play a small human. So basically she could play the human variant. But I'm like, why didn't you just want to play a halfling? And she didn't really give me a good answer because I'm like, she was actually like kind of raised by gnomes too. And her story like didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but she was like adopted
Gotcha.
by, so there was this great city called Geddon. And Geddon was this like gnomish place where everything did. And of course, then the darkness came and all the gnomes and stuff fled and many of them became refugees. So a lot of that technology spread throughout the world, but much of it was lost as well. So it's not uncommon if you were to say, be trained by somebody who knew this. Again, we can just work it into the world or maybe just somehow you know about it. It's you went to the library and studied it. Who knows?
I was gonna say like maybe like the kind of like the underground group is like human, but then they're partnered with, gnomes, and that's how they get their weapon supply, or something like that. I don't
Who's
know,
the leader of the mafia that you're
something
thinking of?
like that.
Do you want to be a part of this
Um,
main mafia, or do you want to be a part like of a rival mafia? Is the question.
I'm in a mafia.
That's why. It's
Are you in the mafia too?
kind
I
of
am.
just the crime syndicate.
Kind of.
Snow. I don't know. Like, it would be cool if she could either be
You guys want to work together or against each other? It's probably better if you work together, so you're part of the same
together
thing,
for the
right?
campaign. Yeah. It'd also be interesting if like there's kind of like a hierarchy system in the mafia, right? And like
Sure.
I was thinking maybe my character could be
A lieutenant or something, or capo.
Yeah, a little bit like higher in the ranks.
You're a capo, so you are watching over Istro. That's kind of the story. So you're like keeping an eye on her and like training her, I guess, in a way.
Okay, that would be interesting.
Now there's more story to it, but let's not influence it too much, right? With Istra's character, so you can kind of play what you want, but basically you're under the thumb, or the boss or whatever is Ilarion, the thief / ranger herself. Let's go on to Branion. What's the name of your character? The monk halfling?
Yeah, he's his name is Decilian. Yeah, he's a monk halfling. And my kind of idea was like he was pretty much raised from the early age in the monastery, and been not pretty much in a religious way, but in the sense of just trying to be good, live your best life, and try to take care of everybody, pretty much type of that sense.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, pretty much. That pretty much follows it.
Cool.
Just saw the forest sign and was skeptical about it and went out to search for it.
If you also have like a subclass that you're thinking about going into, you can also let me know. Do you have a subclass that you're thinking about, Decilian?
I was possibly thinking the Way of Mercy. I believe that's what it's called.
Okay. What roll method do you want to use? So you have the 3 rolled methods. One is standard array, 4d6, and then dungeon
4d6.
Okay. We'll get to you in a second. Let's go to Ray. Ray wants to play a Dragonborn fighter or barbarian. You can pick your choice of either one. I don't really have like
fighter.
Cool.
I would prefer fighter.
And your character's name is Exodent?
Yeah. And I was going to go with the brute subclass. If you'd allow that, I can send you the sheet from that. It's from like a sub publication from Wizards of the Course.
Oh God. Here we go. With the power game.
Well, I didn't want a power game, but it's those like barbarian like fighter.
Is there like rages and stuff with it, or what?
No, it's just like
just send it over. Damage. Just send it over, man. Oh, okay. Because there is, I'm trying to think like hobgoblins and things like that. They have like the brute feat too, where they do extra weapon damage on hit. Is that what you're kind of thinking about?
Yeah, basically. Like I don't want to be like a battle master or a champion. Like
I hear you.
It's kind of it's more of a role play choice. But if you want,
for sure,
let me know.
No, just go ahead and send it out. And also, you can just be creative. I mean, what the problem with some of the subclasses too is some of them are like really overtuned compared to the other ones. So it's kind of forces you into be like, say, like a battle master. Rebecca the Warlock, you want to go, you're a human as well?
Yeah, I went with variant human. So it's the human that instead of getting +1 to everything, you get +1 to 2 things, and then you get a feat.
What's your character's name?
So the character's name is Adeline Claymore, and I'm totally willing to go into like a quick backstory into it. The idea is that her parents are like kind of well-known clerics / paladins that went around in their youth and like killed people and did like, we protected the town. So you know, classic like lawful good, neutral good, like adventurers and stuff. So much so that Adeline has kind of always been, oh, you're the Claymore kid. And, you know, that kind of very much annoyed her growing up. And her parents would spot home. But it was most definitely something that she probably shouldn't have messed with. She might have messed with it bada bing, bada boom, she ended up with a pact with a genie and became a warlock. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna work with this. I'm gonna become super famous. So now when you hear the Claymore name, you think of me first, my pellet second. But she is very much based off of someone I knew when I was younger, who was like, these kids are very smart people. So they themselves are a very smart person, had like zero street smarts, zero common sense.
I love it.
High charisma, high intelligence. Ended up in a cult the last I checked 5 years ago. So there you go. That's the type of person they are.
Cool. I like it. Okay. I've linked in Excel kind of what you guys are already going to do. I don't see a lot of overlap from the classes and stuff like that. It kind of, I guess it can be an issue if two players are like, I want to play a paladin. I want to fucking play a paladin, you know? And it's like, well, I think it's cool. I mean, you can do whatever you want. So you guys are all playing different classes and races, but this is sort of like the last chance to change before we begin, right? And it's never anything's permanent, right? If, say, we complete like a story adventure or something like that, you can be like, hey, I want to play a different class. And that sometimes happens. Players get sick of playing certain classes and one character fades in, another can fade out. And of course, your character can die as well. I'm not out to get you, but sometimes you just get bad rolls.
Yeah.
I'm a human too. So, and I'm from Stormbrook, and I know my way around there. But I'm also a vampire, so I've been bitten. So I have some vampire attributes.
Is everybody cool with like what I just kind of put on the Excel sheet? I think the only person I think that was maybe a little iffy was Ray. Or you don't want to be a barbarian, you want to play a fighter, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And then Branian, I know we talked about it in our first session, but I said, hey, maybe you should play a gnome monk. But this is, you can play anything you want. I just think it would kind of fit, but I don't want to tell you what I think because I want you to play something you enjoy. You know what I mean?
You choosing my character?
Well, I didn't. I mean, I think you said you want to play a monk, but I said I think you probably play a pretty good gnome or a halfling. That was actually something I wanted to play in. What was it? One of the CRPGs. I wanted to play an evil monk. Yeah, but I just never got to it.
Let me quickly check.
Just runs around like death touching things and stuff. Like he's like,
yeah.
I see him as like a bully, you know, like this little, people underestimate him, but he just like kicks this little halfling, kicks somebody's ass. It's kind of fun.
We do actually have a pretty good, not just like spread of classes, but also spread of like positions and stuff.
Yeah, Josh isn't here. I'm not gonna like just boot him out because he like missed today's session for whatever reason, but he was a really cool guy. Pretty good role player. Had some like voice acting thing going on. We'll just see what happens with him. Hopefully he'll show up. But he doesn't overlap with anybody. But he wanted to play an elf wizard with necromancy.
There you go. Classic.
Or no,
yeah,
he actually changed his mind to a gnome wizard. So I see that he has that in D&D Beyond. So.
Yeah, no, that looks good. Yeah,
we're good to go.
Looks like we have a couple of front lines. We have the sort of DPS and the artificial and the gnome and the rogue, and then glass cannon probably in the wizard. And I wanted to go support anyways because I like support.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I probably will subclass or multi-class into ranger at some point.
Yeah. Erwin, how do you want to use the standard array 46 or the dungeon coach method?
Let's see. Let me go to my thing. I think I just did I just rolled the dice thing. I don't know.
I did the same, or in D&D Beyond, I just kind of like rolled
manual roll.
Yeah, just like
Let me look at your character. So how I kind of see if it's balanced is I just sum it all together, your rolls.
Okay.
And if you're like, again, way over 72, I'm like, what are you trying to do? You trying to power game me?
No, I rolled 3 groups of dice, and I kind of like picked the one that was the best one out of the 3. But I don't know if that's too much.
I just rolled 1 and was like, That seems pretty good.
I can just I can re-roll as well
Yeah.
if like it's a big issue.
Some
It's up
are
to you guys.
not good.
Do you guys want to re-roll? When we do the rolling, everything's done like in the combat log, so everything's like transparent in a way.
Okay.
Let's
If
let's
we do the
re-roll.
rolling and
No, go ahead.
if we do the rolling and we don't like it, can we switch to standard array?
Yeah, we'll just finesse it, man. Why don't we have
All right.
Erwin just go first? So, Erwin rolls 46 6 times. Let me know if the music is a little too loud. Hard for me to
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Can I add the firearm specialist and the dual wielder
Yes.
feats to my character? Thank you.
The dual wield feat is you automatically get it for being an artificer for the firearms.
Why?
Firearms, you
Okay.
automatically get it as a part of the artificer class, and then the dual wield thing is a part of your feat as a variant human, right?
I mean, it says I'm like manually adding it in D&D
Mhm.
Beyond, so
That's how it works, though. If you want to be technical
Yeah.
about it.
Okay.
Erwin
Get
rolled
a pen.
46.
there we
I
go.
got a 15 for the first one, but I got to write this down somewhere.
No,
so
I'm
hold
writing
on.
it down for you too.
9, 10.
We'll try again, but roll it in the combat log, right?
Oh,
How you
I
guys-
thought I could.
How you guys roll it in the combat log, this is why we're doing it for practice, so we're starting to get used to the mechanics of how we play online, right? So in D&D Beyond, in the lower left-hand corner, there's a button. At that button, you click it, it toggles up to an array of dice, and then you select you click that dice, how many times you want to roll, and then I think you click roll. So
That's what I did the first time. But
there you go. Now I
did-
see the roll, and it's a 50.
Okay,
So what it is, you see that, and I take 4 plus 5 plus 4. That first roll is a 13. Roll again. I got it. I'm writing it down for you, so you don't have to do it. Just roll again, and then I'll post the array for you, and I'll try to tag you in Discord. So we got 3 plus 3 plus 5. Roll again. Six plus 5 plus 3. Go ahead. If you guys want to, you can click the combat log and view the rolls too, right? So it's just like we're
Yeah.
rolling in the
Yep.
table. I don't know. Some people use Roll20 and stuff too. So 3
Ooh,
plus 2
that was
plus
a rough
3.
one.
So you get an 8. 2 more times. We need. Six plus 4 plus 5, 15. Last roll.
Let's wait.
Here we go. 3 plus 6 plus 2. So you have exactly 72, which matches the standard array. So this is your roll set. Now this doesn't include racial attributes that you get, right? Or any other of that stuff. How I like to do it for racial attributes is, like for human, I think it's +2 any or something like that, +1 any, but you can only do it in one field, so you can't add both of those +2 into one field. It's only +1 any to 2 separate attributes. I'm going to link the score for you, Erwin. Here you go.
Thank you.
And this is, you see, I just linked it in our game chat. So those are your scores. You see that?
And I
they-
can just use the standard array because it's the same, right?
If you wish to use a standard array, you can. Okay, because both numbers were 72, I guess. I mean, but I personally would like you to use that one because it's a little bit more random, a little bit more variation, right? But it's up to you.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's up to you. Let's go to the next person. So Erwin is done with her character. I'm just going down my Excel sheet right now. Let me add an insert, so I'll put an X next to her. Nicole, or Cece. I'm going to try to get used to calling you by your character name. Cece is up now. What, you want to use the 46, right?
Yeah.
So roll 46.
46. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
If you're sitting around waiting, feel free to go grab some picture art of your character and link it in our game chat as well. And also make sure your character profile picture in D&D Beyond has like a thumbnail picture. Okay, so the first one for CC is pretty high. You're moving quick. I like it. So the first one is 4 plus 6 plus 4. The second one is
That was
6,
really low.
6 plus 6 plus 5. The next one is 5 plus 4 plus 1. Yep, and that one was 6 plus 4 plus 1. And then we got really low roll there. 1. So that one's a 5. And the last roll is 4 plus 4 plus 5. So you have 70. So you're under 2. So why don't we
Okay.
take that 5? Do you want to take, here's a question to you. Do we want to take that 5 and go to a 7? Or do we want to take the 14 and go to a 16? So do you want to have a really weak score? Or do we want to min-max you more? You know, do you know what I'm saying? Do we make that, you have a really weak score in there? Or do we want to take that weak score and make it a little stronger?
I guess so. Right now we have. What are my current numbers so far?
Yeah, I'll link it here for you.
Thank you.
There you go. I love this dragon porn picture you got. It's cool.
Ooh.
I kind of like, I personally like, I like how the Dragonborn can look both ways, but I also like how the Dragonborn, if you wanted to, more look like the old Ra in Final Fantasy. Like more humanoid, but still have you know what I'm saying? Like have more dragonist, more, but they have like scales on their face and stuff like that. There's your rolls. What do you want to do?
You know what? I'm gonna say, let's increase the 14 to 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna delete that one, and then I'll
Alright, cool.
send you the new one here. So the total is 72, right? Which is just like the standard
Yeah.
rate. So you were slightly under the standard rate, so we get you up to the standard rate, but you're not exactly like it. You're a little bit more random. Here you go. Here's your rolls, right? You see that?
Cool. Yep, I see it.
Alrighty. Let's go down the line to Dacillion, the Halfling Monk.
Yep.
Halfling Monk. What do you want to do? You want a standard array or 46?
46.
Roll it up. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do the rolls?
How do you exactly do it when you're in the campaign?
So I think you're already you go into your character sheet. On the
I
bottom
think I just
left,
did it.
there's the
I
button.
think I just did. Yeah.
Yep. And then there might be a toggle where it says roll to self or roll to everyone, a part of the campaign log. It's usually a drop down on that side frame. You might have to toggle that side frame to say roll to everyone.
It's game log.
Mm-hmm.
Where? I'm blind.
Nicole, how'd you do it?
To roll it?
Mm-hmm. You were just in your character sheet, right?
Yeah, so if you're in your character sheet, go to the bottom left and you'll see a little red dice.
Does it have to be completed?
button. No.
I just rolled it, huh? Maybe it's to self. Let me
Yeah. So make sure it's you click the D6 4 times. You should see like a little 4 next to it, and then it says to everyone.
to
But you have
everyone.
to be on the main sheet, not where like you can make changes.
See, yeah. So that means I have to complete the character sheet first, then.
You got a catch 22, huh?
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
why I
because
was-
that's what
why I was
happened to
weird.
me.
There you go.
Got you.
And that sucks so bad because I got 5, 6, 6, 4. That's not even a joke. On my first one.
Yeah, so instead of going to standard array, just sort of input your character sheet as like a standard array, and then we'll rule in the character sheet.
There you go. Okay, this should work now. 2, 3, 4 to everyone. There you go.
I love that profile picture of CC.
Oh,
If you have the full picture art of that too, link that in our Discord chat. Okay. How about this? We'll keep this roll 2, 1, 3, which is a 6. What was the other good roll though you had? It was a 5, 5, 6.
It was 5, 5, 6, 4.
We'll keep that roll, which is a 16. Roll. This is your third roll. Roll it up.
Okay, it balances out.
Yeah, it kind of bounces out. That's the whole point of this, is just we're just bouncing things out. 2 plus 3 plus 6, a little low at 11, but average, right?
Mm-hmm.
6 plus 3 plus 5, 14. 6 plus 4 plus 2, 12. Six plus 4 plus 2, so you have 71. So you're under it by 1. Let's change one of your scores. I'm going to change the 16 that you said that you rolled. Let's change it to a 17. So that makes you have 72, but you have a 6, right? That first nasty roll, right? I'm going to I'll link the roll here for you in our chat, and I'll tag you with it. There you go. Army.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, let's go down the line to Ray. Exodin, the Dragonborn fighter. What do you want to do, man?
46.
Cool.
Did you
Roll
get
it
that
up.
roll?
I did. Decillion. I have Decillion, so you have to roll to everyone. Right? There's like a drop-down toggle there. So you probably rolled it, but it just rolled to self.
Where's this drop down toggle?
If the combat log is toggled out, the way I see it for me is if it's that side frame is toggled out, on the top of that combat log, there's a drop down. It's sort of hidden. It's white background. You have to click it and drop down and say toggle to everyone. I also think there's a way to do it like Nicole was saying. When you actually select the dice and try to roll those dice, you can have a toggle in there, which is again a select drop menu drop down, where you can roll to everyone. Cool?
Like if you right click, I think.
I gotta be okay, got it.
There you go. Now I see it exiting, right?
Yeah.
1 plus 1 plus
8.
5. I'm sorry, 1 plus 2 plus 5. Yep, 8.
14. 14 again, or 15.
15, yep.
Nice. 17.
Yeah.
12. 7.
The dice are cruel. As well as a bless,
Was that 5? Was that 5 or 6?
That was 6. You have a total of 73. So you have a few really good rolls and a couple
I'll
duds,
take it.
right?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I like it. I was worried there if you were going to be a superpower gamer. Exit in, right?
Yep.
Okay. I will then, what I'll do in our Discord is I will have your name and your character's name. So it helps me out, right? Let's go down the line. Awesome. Rebecca, what do you want to do?
I will roll.
Everybody's into rolling. I like it.
That one's not bad.
Yeah. Just keep going.
Yeah, that one's not bad.
$19 or 16. 6 plus 5 plus 3, 14. 2 plus 2 plus 4, 8. 4 plus 5 plus 6, 15. Got a bunch of really good rolls. Let me scroll up.
Is that all of them?
Yep,
Or do I
that
need one
is.
more?
That was it. Let me, 3 plus
Watch,
5
that'd be
plus-
the best set of rolls I would do this entire campaign.
Yeah. 5 plus 6 plus 4. You have
It's a
82.
little overpowered.
Yeah,
that's
you're
a little
way over-
overpowered.
You're really overpowered. Now I'll leave it the choice to you. Do you want to? You have an 8 in there, so it's not like you're super lower powered, but it's one of those things as a DM too, like compared to everybody else here who's also a DM. Should we allow one player at the table who's obviously their ability scores
No,
are
you
far,
can.
or should we nerf you down, hit you with the nerf bat?
We can nerf me down. What's this? We can drop one of them down to like a 10 or something.
What I like to do is we drop you down to 75 total, which is still how it's defined as like a buffed array.
Yeah.
But we're going to take your 14. This is how I would do it. I'd take your 14 down to like 7. So you lose 7 points out of that. So I'll show you the rolls. So basically you have 2 terrible attributes, but the rest of them are pretty good.
Which honestly it makes so much sense with this character.
Let me tag you with those 2. I'll delete that and tag you just to make sure we can kind of keep it organized. And you are 3 hour not log.
Yes.
Cool. Alrighty. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I mean it makes way more sense.
I did it for my brother too. He rolled like an 80 something too, and I nerfed him.
No. when that last one came in, it's like, yeah, that's too high for that.
That's it for everybody because Josh isn't here. But I'll have to do a thing with Josh, maybe alone or both do them. I do have other players I interviewed that are potential replacements. Just because, I don't know if people are just not going to show up. Cool. So now the next thing I think is, do you guys want to go through the boring part, which is some house rules?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. The boring but interesting part, I guess. We just did a little bit of updating on them, but some of them won't be very relevant to us because we are just starting off as well, right? At level 1. Let me link it in Discord. So I'm just going to go tab by tab and kind of explain some variations on the house rules. I linked these to you guys before, so I'm sure you've reviewed them. I did, right before our game started, I went in there and removed a few of them that we just don't use or are fixed essentially already by some of the errata actually. So most of the house rules I got were sourced by other DMs. And you can see that in the source link on the right. You can actually click it. It'll probably take you right to the YouTube video timestamp of that DM talking about that rule and the rationale behind the rule, if you really care about it. And as most of you guys are DMs yourself, maybe you do. I don't know. The first idea is, it's under abilities, but it should be under rest, I guess, as a mechanic. Basically, the rest mechanic has been changed. It's kind of silly that players, when they take a full rest, are just back to 1,000%, like nothing ever happened. All their spell slots are refreshed, all of their hit points are refreshed, even though they maybe got their arm lopped off, or something like that. They're fine, they're perfectly healthy. What this sort of addresses is, say like you're in a dangerous place, you do something called, there's a short rest, which has been buffed to 10 minutes, down from an hour. So for warlock classes and stuff, it's pretty good. Same with like certain abilities. Any ability that refreshes on a short rest is now on a 10-minute timer. You're just catching your breath anyways, makes sense. I'm just going to keep rattling these off until someone interjects. Okay? If you guys are not cool with this rule, let me know. That's another thing too. Long rest has been changed. It's broken up into 2 3-hour segments. The first 3 hours, your hit dice, half your hit dice reset. The second 3 hours, you get the rest of your hit dice, plus you get all your spell slots. But it completes at the end of 6 hours. This is where you're like in a dungeon somewhere, where I consider someone is on watch, essentially. If you're worried about a goblin like shanking you in the neck, you're taking a long rest. Now, if you're in the inn in town, that's when the rules as written full rest comes into play, aka the long rest under the rules as written, where you do regain everything back. Okay? Sound cool?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm guessing for potential exhaustion loss, that will be until after the long rest, not halfway through it.
That's correct. And I haven't added it in there, but we also we buff the medicine check So if you want to use medicine as more, you can do a medicine check while over a long rest to reduce another party member's exhaustion level. Since the exhaustion is it's a part of the grittier rules, it does come up. So I'm going to go to actions as the next one, tab. The help action. Sorry, go ahead.
Quick question on
Yep.
that. Because the short rest is now 10 minutes, how does that affect Warlock's spellcasting?
Your spell pack resets after a short rest, right?
Okay, so so we said after 10 minutes, not.
I guess you rub your lamp and you pray to your
Okay.
your genie god, which you kind of have to tell me about this genie. So you got to make that up on your end.
Yeah,
Who's
no,
this genie?
that makes
Where is
sense.
it? What's the name of this genie? Is it a man or a woman? Where does this genie hail from? What type of genie? There's like 4 different types of genies. So
Yeah.
you need to kind of
It's,
help me out. Otherwise, I will just start making it up.
It's a Muid, so it's the water-based genie named Sultan Eamos the Magnificent.
Okay. Yeah, I think you wrote a little bit on
that's-
this. That was
That
cool.
is basically the extent that I have. He is very vain, likes to get flattery a lot,
Okay.
and that is the general gist of it. Also, he kind of wants to become famous too. So the idea is, if the person that he sponsors is famous, and I'm constantly dedicating all my shit to him, in theory, he gets shit too.
Awesome. I like it. I'm on the actions tab now, unless we have any other questions about rest. And part of it, when you guys play with this, you'll start to understand the rules too, and some of the logic behind changing some of the raw rules. And why do we change them? I think it adds certain elements of realism. It also does, like for instance, the rest mechanic being changed emphasizes hit dice more, which is often an underutilized resource. Okay, the help mechanic has been buffed. Basically, you can help someone. Normally, you have to be like right next to them, helping them. But there's a way to say, hey, when I'm 30 feet away from you, I might say some whisper of encouragement across the battlefield. That way, it gives a character always a default action. Be like, I don't want to cast a cantrip. I don't want to do anything, but he's in an advantageous situation, maybe in like a hallway or something, where I can use a help action to give that person advantage on an attack. Or I can give them advantage on a skill check. Now, if you're like, players are always chiming in. They're always like, I want to help him and give him advantage. And the thing is, really what you should do as a player is say what you're going to do and say, I'm also helping him. Now, one nerf, quote unquote nerf to this is you have to have proficiency in that ability or that skill to actually help them. For instance, this Dragonborn fighter probably is not skilled in the ways of Arcana. So he can't like help someone out deciphering magical runes. But he can, of course, help try to open the door. And again, that is, I leave it like, it's not a strict rule, but it's just open to interpretation. It is a quote-unquote nerf to players, but it's also realistic. For instance, if you're not proficient in Thieves' Tools, how the hell are you going to pick the lock or disable the trap? Right? Kind of makes sense.
Using this rule. I like it.
Cool. I'm going to go to classes next. There was an idea, we're not using this, but there's an idea behind bards. The problem with bards right now is that they are locked into their spells that they select every level. And every level they get to change out their spells. One solution to fixing this and giving bards more freedom is actually just making them kind of like wizards. They give them spellbooks. That we're not using this rule. Because there's no way to integrate it into D&D Beyond right now. I'm going to combat. There's no called shots. The idea is like, well, the monster can just swing at your head too every time. And the idea, a good DM test is like, well, what if the monsters all do this? Is a balanced mechanic. The players want to do called shots, well, the monsters will called shot you. So there's just no called shots. Now, it doesn't mean it's a nerf to creativity. If you want to like spill over the oil or knock down the pillar or attack a vulnerability you think is there, as a DM, I'm not going to say cool. And quick and dirty rules will just slap a -2 roll on it. But you're not going to get like extra damage dice out of it or anything like that, unless again it's a creative thing. Also, I've heard of other DMs talking about how 2 players like do a combo attack or something like that. Again, be creative. We're not nerfing creativity. We're just nerfing those players that are always like, I'm just going to swing at his head every time. try to chop off his head. Well, yeah, of course you are. That's what the enemy's trying to do to you too, I guess. So here we're starting to talk about the grittier rules. When you get hit with a critical hit, you have to make a DC 15 con save or take a stack of exhaustion. This does come up. Basically, it replaces the lingering wounds variant rule in the Dungeon Master's Guide, but it's a way to add realism to it, and it does come up. But if you have a stronger body, you have a higher constitution score, you can resist that attack. You can shrug off that stack of exhaustion. Okay. I like using these rules. They are a little bit more brutal, but it's not like game ending. It's Alarian has played with it in our last campaign. When I interviewed our Tuesday game, they were cool with it too. The dramatic music doesn't help.
I think it all worked out really well.
Yeah, it kind of balances things and kind of keeps players in check. And it feels like, hey, I'm actually dungeon crawling in something dangerous here. I think it adds heightened tension. We use improved critical damage. So how it works is, say you roll with the longsword, a D8, right? You get max damage on that critical hit dice. You make a D8 roll as well, so you get 8 plus whatever you rolled on the D8 plus any modifiers, and that's your critical hit damage. Nothing's worse than rolling double ones. Okay. The optional rule is when you roll this has never come up because it's like a very rare chance. You swing and you get a critical natural 20. If you roll another 20, you get 4 times damage. If you roll 3 20s in a row, you get 8 times damage. This has never come up, but I think it's cool. When you try to knock out a creature, you just take minus 2.
Almost happened.
You have to roll minus 2 to the roll, and the creature's HP has to drop to 0. Right now, I don't have the way to say, you can ask me, like, what does a creature look like when I do it in the battle? I'll say, like, the creature's HP, it's looking pretty bad, or it's near death's door, or it's bloodied. We do use the bloodied mechanic. I don't use the massive damage thing right now because you guys are all level 1, but just something to keep in mind maybe when you get up to like level 5. If you take over half of your HP, because I can't really monitor, and again, it's more math. Again, that's a problem with house rules, is the more you add onto it, it's like impossible to keep track of them. And this is sort of one of them. This is in the DMG, though. If you take over half your HP in one attack that doesn't outright kill you, or just drops you to 0, you have to take a DC 15 con save or take a stack of exhaustion from a massive attack. Opportunity attacks, we're not going to use this one, but it's something to think about, and it's something Dungeon Coach talked about, which is only if you are proficient with a martial weapon and you're using a martial weapon, do you get an attack of opportunity with that with that weapon. For instance, the monk, he's proficient in his hands, and he would get that attack of opportunity. We're not using that rule, but it's just something to think about. Try to take off the autopilot nature of attack of opportunities. I'm going to go to feats real quick. Dungeon Delver's been removed. It's just a bad feat. Grappler has been buffed. And I linked it in there too, so you can actually see the new and improved grapple feat. Because Grappler is a part of the SRD, and it's just a terrible fucking feat. So we buffed the shit out of it, making you into a WWE wrestler, essentially. Now, you can also be creative with that feat too. Like, I want to shoulder spear someone or do something, right? So, the Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter feats are obviously pretty powerful feats. To me, they're not a big deal, but it addresses a larger problem, a part of D&D, which is the martial classes in general don't have much variety. I swing a sword and I attack. Why don't we just give all martial classes this heavy attack feature, which is they can just take a -10, -5 plus 10 to damage, right? -5 to hit plus 10 damage. And just add it as a core feature, a part of any martial class. Why don't we just do that? So they don't have to go into that feat that is quote unquote required to do that. Even though, like, say, Great Weapon Master allows you to make that extra attack if you kill somebody, like you're cleaving through someone and you're hitting that next opponent. And actually, Baldur's Gate 3 addresses some of this, guys, where they put certain abilities on a short rest to give you, like, some of those Battle Master feats, a part of, like, the core mechanic for martial classes, right? Just keep in mind, this is something that might evolve over the course of our game, where martial classes in general just overall get buffed. because we need more abilities for these guys, because otherwise you're just swinging a sword and doing things. And I've also seen variation on weapons where, like, say you hit someone with the maul, like if you crit them, you can push them 5 to 10 feet or something. So you can do more cool things on the battlefield. Again, all these are buffs to players. Right, so those revised feats, there's no change to those. So if you want to use Great Weapon Master or Sharpshooter, there's no change. They're just in there, rules as written. So I don't agree with using the proficiency bonus to nerf it. It's not a big deal, in my opinion. Okay, understandable?
Sorry. So the rule you have written in this house rules list.
We're not using it.
Oh, okay.
I have it listed there because, you know, it is talked about. It is up for discussion, but it is a nerf to players, especially lower level players, at lower levels like you guys are. But we're not going to use it because you do take a -5 to the roll.
Right.
It's
So
not a
you
big
just
deal.
automatically have that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to do plus 10 damage. I consider it to be, if you want to rename it as an ability, I call it just a heavy attack.
All right.
And if we did want to nerf it, we would say, okay, you get, every martial class gets this heavy attack ability, but they get a proficiency bonus per day. Right? Does it make sense? Okay, anyways, but we're just going to keep the rules as written. We don't need to make it that complex. The lucky feat, of course, is getting a nerf. So one kind of bad concept with the game is that the idea of re-rolling. So you got the Chronomancy Mage, you got Divination Wizards, things like that. And some of it takes away from the majestic nature of the fate of the dice. Oh, I roll a dice, and oh, I don't like that roll. You got to re-roll it. Right? It kind of takes away the fate of things. And this is a concept. It's not really an idea, but basically the lucky feat. You just roll it. You get this. It's the same ability, guys. You just have to declare it in advance, and then you just roll with advantage. Make sense?
Yeah, same thing with Halfling as well.
The Halfling feat. That's exactly the other Halfling in our game said the same thing. Halfling luck is not the same thing as lucky the feat. Halfling luck is when you roll a 1, you re-roll it and keep the result.
Yeah, it's called natural lucky.
It's just that is unchanged. That's just a part of being a Halfling.
All right.
Or Halfling. I keep calling them Halflings.
It works either way.
I like Halfling. It sounds more mystical.
Items. So I'm on the items tab now. Realism. Tuning to an item now used to take 1 hour. Now it just takes an action. What are you doing in that hour? Are you just caressing this magical item, forming a magical bond with it? It doesn't make any fucking sense. So it's now just an action to attune the item. Healing potions, like we discussed earlier, have all been buffed. They heal for max. Nothing is worse than spending your action to drink a healing potion and then rolling double ones. Level up.
Now, for the healing potions, are you willing to have it be a bonus action and it's still a roll, or you just want to go with this one?
No, it's got to be a full action, man.
All right, fair enough.
Because if you start doing it as a bonus action, it's just like OP as fuck. Because then you can drink potions as a bonus action, essentially. Because if you think about it, you're in the heat of battle under 6 seconds. I'm digging through my bag or my pouch. I'm pulling it off, uncorking it, and slamming it down my face. That's sort of kind of what's happening in the battle.
I've always found healing potions to be kind of useless, even if you give it a max roll.
Really?
Yeah.
It's usually what happens is
happens.
Yeah, sure. What usually happens is a player drops in the battlefield, and another player runs over and slams a healing potion in their gullet.
Oh, okay.
And then they get healed for usually like 10 to 20 HP or something like that. But it gets them up, you know. Now, when you fall, I think that's in their rules later. When you fall to 0, you take a stack of exhaustion. So it prevents the whole idea, and I can talk about that in a second when it comes up. Level up. There's an idea called level up perks that Dungeon Coach came up with. I tried it in the first campaign. It just didn't really work. But he has a whole list of these things called level up perks. And I can't do it. I mean, it's just, I can't. I don't have this list. I could buy it, if I wanted to. But I found it to just be too much of a pain in the ass. But it's a cool concept, and I think players love it, and apparently it's pretty popular. It's something we can touch on later, maybe. When you level up, your hit points do not go to max, but your spell slots are refreshed. If you're in the middle of battle, dungeon crawling. See, I'm already losing, what's his name? Branyan. I'm already boring him. I know this is boring as shit.
Oh, no, I'm not. I was reading some of the rules.
Cool. When you level up, when you're rolling for hit dice, how we're going to do it is we're going to do it basically rules as written. But if you roll a 1, you get to re-roll the roll. Other than that, it's just the dice is the fate of it. Cool.
Yeah, you wanted to change my hit die to a D10 instead of a D8, right?
Monks, yes, that's something I didn't put here. Monks have been buffed. Just a straight simple buff. The monks is now they have a D10 hit dice instead of the D8 because monks are underpowered. And so this is a suggestion I heard from another DM. It's sort of a quick and dirty way just to buff monks. Just give them a fucking D10. It's not a big deal. I mean, okay, so let's go to rolls. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed with monks, and Dungeon Dudes had a good discussion about it, but honestly, I can't remember it, and I'd have to go through it again. There was another guy too that was talking a lot about it. Ability re-rolling. I'm on Rolls tab. If you roll, you can re-roll Strength. Professor Span says Treat Monk talks about it, but it's actually the other guy. When you re-roll, you can re-roll Strength, Dex, and Con checks, skill checks, but you cannot re-roll Int, Wisdom, or Charisma checks. Like if you try to remember history about an ancient kingdom and you don't know it and you fail that roll, you can't re-roll it. But if you try to break down the door, well, you can try to re-roll it. Now, what Matt Mercer does, I noticed what he does, even with the persuasion rolls and things like that. He's like, well, you could try again, but the DC jumps up by like 5 or 10. You know, so he just allows he allows the player to go for it, but the DC just goes up. One idea, we can't implement it now, but something we might have in the future. I'm thinking with Int, Charisma, and Int, Wisdom, and Charisma rolls, skill check rolls, they're hidden. You can't see them. The DM sees the roll, but you don't see it. So say you try to get insight on an NPC, the roll is hidden. Now, it's up to me as a DM not to cheeseball you. And I will put a feature in there, and I'll be able to click a button, and I can reveal the roll to the table like we can in D&D Beyond. But it's an idea to prevent metagaming. So if you roll low on a persuasion roll, it's like, well, you know you suck. You know it because you're looking at it. You know, you act it out. But it's also for like deception rules and things like that. Well, maybe you failed your deception roll on the NPC, but you don't know you've failed. Right? Pretty cool, huh? But we don't have it. There's no way to do it. But that's just something in the future, maybe.
Oh.
There's an idea called advantage stacking that Dungeon Coach made up. I know how to do it. It's not a big deal, but just keep in mind, if you gain 2 ways of advantage on an attack or an ability check, you get modifiers to it. It also works against you. Say you have 1 stack of exhaustion, and then you're poisoned. Well, now you have 2 stacks of exhaustion. That's not 2 stacks of, you have 2 stacks of disadvantage on the roll. So you would have a -2 to the roll. It's not a big deal. It doesn't come up that much, but when it does come up, it's kind of cool. And again, for you guys that are like more experienced players, you can think about stuff like this, and it's pretty cool. If you fail a death saving throw by 5 or more, basically if you roll a 5 or less, you gain a stack of exhaustion. You're bleeding out. All death saving throws are rolled in secret by me. I do not fudge them, and that's just the way it rolls. It adds tension to the game. And it does come up, but not that much. You can try to revive a player with a medicine check. The medicine check either adds or subtracts. This is an idea behind DM Jacob. It's never come up because nobody uses medicine for some reason. But say you have a healer's kit and you run up to somebody and you're trying to heal them in a dying state. You can use a medicine check to try to bring them out. I like it. I like it as a cool way to enhance the death save mechanic, I guess. I'll review it again. Spells. The counterspell has been nerfed. So I'll describe the new counterspell. Counterspell cannot be upcast. It can only remain at level 3. You add, it's what I call a contesting roll. And all you need to know is that it's just not automatically success or failure anymore with the counterspell. For instance, you cast shield. I try to attack. I gotta know you guys' names. Exodin. And Exodin's, for some reason, he's a paladin too, so he casts shield, right? So I can't attack him, but I'm playing a spellcaster like Strahd who can counterspell you. In rules is written, I counterspell your first level spell. It automatically works. I just took away your player agency, right? There's no dice rolling. There's nothing. I just say, fuck you. I counterspell you, and I hit you. Let's give players that agency back, and DMs, of course, that player agency back to allow for the chance to failure and success based on how skilled the spellcaster is who's trying to counterspell you, as well as the spell level. Higher level spells are obviously more difficult to counterspell, correct? This was a great solution put forward by Dungeon Coach, and you can read more about it, and there's many reasons why, this should be changed. Okay, I'm on status. When you drop to 0, you gain a stack of exhaustion. So you basically enter the dying state. Not only do you go prone when you drop to 0, but you also gain you gain a stack of exhaustion. This comes up a lot. But it's not like you can't gain more than 1 stack of exhaustion in a single attack or turn, essentially, right? Because I'm not going to just hit you with a critical and you drop to 0 and you fail this. It's just too complex. You just gain 1 stack of exhaustion to balance it out. There's an idea behind inspiration points. Is anybody opposed to that rule? That one's kind of a hardcore rule, but why that rule exists is like, say you drop to 0. There's cases where there's like 5-hour fights, and these guys, when they enter like a deadly encounter, and they's like, oh, I'm just going to lay on hands him for 1 HP. He comes up, and there's no consequence. He's not taking any stacks of exhaustion. And there's other solutions I've heard about this, like death saves are rolled forward, or you lose a death save, or something like that. And so essentially you drop 3 times, you just die. There's other ways to do it, but there's a problem with the death save mechanic in this, and this is one solution to it. If you hit 6 stacks of exhaustion, you die. Right? That's how the exhaustion mechanic works. Inspiration points. I tried it in the first campaign. It's just kind of a dump. I just don't like it. Because then it's like I'm going to say, oh, you did a great job role-playing. Here's 1 inspiration point. I just don't like using them. It doesn't really work. If you are prone, standing up only costs 15 movement. I think it makes sense. Larger creatures can just easily stand up, costing 15 movement, while smaller creatures, it's a little more of a struggle, right? They got shorter legs and shorter stuff. Instead of half movement, it's now just straight 15 movement to stand up from prone. On the other side of it, from a tactical side from it, when you stand up and you're in front of an enemy, they get an attack of opportunity on you. So tripping becomes more of an option, and grappling, you can try to grapple an opponent down more to try to provoke attacks of opportunity. It's kind of interesting. I haven't seen it come up too much, but it's kind of a cool idea. The last one I'm on the miscellaneous tabs, wizards get magical tattoos, or there's a way to tattoo your flesh, to engrave your spellbook onto your flesh. It only costs 3 times as much, and you need to have the feat of the magical tattooer feat. But certain powerful wizards sort of flex on you when they're just riddled with tattoos. And this is just a cool concept, kind of a metal, concept by Dungeon Craft. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Have I put you to sleep?
I don't remember you going up. Are you still going through with the rule of like advantages and disadvantages stack, or
Yes,
no?
we're going to keep that rule.
Okay.
It doesn't come up a ton, but it's just cool. I mean, why shouldn't it stack? You're just going to... And the way they talk about it is like, say, again, like multiple help actions to help someone out. Well, you can stack it, But it's like, yeah, you guys are spending your actions, spending resources, or spending ways to help someone out in a certain situation. At the same time, if you're exhausted and poisoned, you should get you should have a stack of disadvantage, right? You have 2 stacks of disadvantage. That's the way it kind of works. Again, are we needlessly making the game more complex than it needs to be? Probably.
So then, if you have like 2 stacks of advantage, then
you get a +2. You roll 2d20. plus. So
Okay.
like, there's a feat called Elven Accuracy, which is sort of
Okay.
touching on this concept, where if I get advantage on the roll, I roll another d20. Well, this rule replaces that. Instead, you just roll 2d20 plus 2. You get an additional plus 2 modifier to the roll.
Okay.
Because what Wizards of the Coast was trying to do is explain is advantage stacking, and of course they just didn't do it. Alarian, wake up. We get ready to begin?
I do have one more quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for the equipment that we might have, how do we decide which we're allowed to have, or are we just not doing that?
The starting equipment, man. It should be there in the character creation in D&D Beyond.
Yeah, like monk starting equipment. I get all that, or is that?
Why not? If it's there, it's not too bad. It's usually less than 50 gold in total.
Yeah.
Do we have any starting gold?
Unless
like
your
starting-
background usually gives it to you, then the answer is no.
Oh, hold on. Let me-
So what's your
I think
background?
I put it in custom because there was no mafia.
There's a criminal background. Go back and change it to the criminal background.
All right, 1 second. Criminal, myriad operative, criminal/spy,
Spy or
there's,
criminal. There you go. They're the
urban
same.
bounty hunter.
Go for it. They must have added a bunch of shit in there. I don't even know all these ones, but I'm just using the stuff from the player's handbook, just off the top of my head.
Gotcha. Let me see.
Cool. So as a background, you get custom equipment or starting equipment and starting gold typically. And it's usually somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 gold. Now, 1 gold piece is 10 silver. A silver piece is a day's labor. We cool? Ready to start? You guys need a few minutes.
I'm all good.
Give you guys like 5 minutes out of that sound.
5 minutes.
Maybe,
walk.
maybe about like, you need to take a coffee break, go to the bathroom or add
I'm gonna
those
use search
gold or
real
whatever,
quick.
right? And I'll be right back. Drinking? Good.
Super excited to get to play with you as a player, Rebecca.
I know. I'm excited for you to see how I play. I haven't got a chance to play in a while, so I'm excited.
Yeah, he's a really awesome DM. Like the last campaign was just awesome. As are you. Where are you guys from?
Maryland, near Baltimore.
I live in Georgia. So same as Rebecca.
Yeah,
Me
so,
too.
yeah, so we got 2 Atlanta-based, Georgia, and Maryland. Where in Georgia are you?
Metro Atlanta. So like not like Atlanta, but like
I mean, I'm small in Vinings, so I'm
you're
next to I'm near the baseball stadium.
you're basically like in the city then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're still
Inside the perimeter.
Well, I'm just outside the perimeter if we're technical about it. But
Right, but yeah.
yeah. So I think you're like an hour away from me, maybe. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you at Kennesaw or past Kennesaw? North,
Yeah.
south?
I live where all the Asians live.
Oh, like Duluth.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah.
Gwinnett.
Where the really good Super H mod is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we don't have like a bazillion of viewers right now, because we're gonna have like stalkers at our door. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so
Like-
I totally blinked on that.
It's like, oh yeah, Rebecca, said out loud on the stream where you live, and now
We
it's
usually
all
get
gonna
like
be
50 viewers afterwards, and then like 30 to 50 YouTube viewers.
Sorry, I totally forgot that we were streaming.
it's all good. Like worst case scenario, I get somebody at my door and they're like knocking, like, "Hey, Rebecca told me where you live." I'll be like, "Did you come empty-handed, or did you bring, a bottle of wine? It makes a big difference." That's, I mean, I guess that's my little angle at it. I guess if you're gonna stalk me, at least bring me a bottle of wine.
Sounds even worse.
Hey, if I'm drunk enough, it don't matter.
Oh, come on in.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I already started. Have another drink,
So if you guys don't have Tailspire, I just linked you the Tailspire link in our game chat. The game chat, so I see Army is in here, Exodus is in here, and I'm in here. We're still missing 3 players. So. And I think Rebecca, you said you couldn't come in. That's cool. So you
I can try. Yeah.
It's up to you. I don't want you to crash your game. So we have to lose you and stuff. Here we go. So we're going to pick basically character models. Let's start off with Exodus.
Right.
So you're a Dragonborn. Now this is just, like I said, I'm going to put out a couple models, which might be okay. There's the 2 I see. They only have 4 models in total. I'm going to give you permission. How it works is you can't see anything because it's like line of sight, similar to like other VTT platforms. But I have to give you player permission. Exodus, there you go. So now Exodus, you should be populated into your character. I put 2 Dragonborn out there. Which one do you like out of the 2? Because I saw you guys have a shield. I think maybe this one.
I'll go with the
big maul.
I'm gonna go with the red, yeah, because I'm gonna be using a 2 great sword. So
You want to use this big guy right here?
Yeah.
Cool. And it won't be perfect, like I said, but we will, with Hero Forge being integrated into this, we will eventually, be able to do that. So what I do is I'm going to make your model also unique. And there's a bunch
timeline on that, or is it just in talks?
It's close. I'd probably say within a month.
All right.
And when we're just playing once a week, it's like an eternity, in between games almost. So it shouldn't be that bad. Make you unique. Accident. Okay. Let's go to Army. Army, you're playing a halfling gnome. I'm going to pull out a couple halfling models, which kind of look maybe monkish. There's a guy with a bucket. Maybe he's the most monkish out of all of them. Then, of course, you got a couple other guys. They're more like spellcasters and rogues. Let me give you permission so you can see it. Can the other people, Nicole and Erwin, can you try to get in here?
Yeah, I'm having trouble with the
invite code?
Yeah, the invite code. It's saying it's invalid.
Okay, so
same.
Let me try it again here. So I just recreated it. Let's do it again. Try this one. Let me know if that one works.
So I'm guessing that's it.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me populate you in here. It takes a few minutes to get this process done, but once we get it done, it's kind of ready to go. There's the guy with the bucket. You see that,
I think
Army?
that's the best one out of the rest of them.
Then you got this kind of like rogue guy with a big nose, and then you got this guy who's like kind of a mage.
Yeah.
But this is the most monkey one.
Yeah.
You're gonna beat people with a bucket?
That's my martial weapon.
I like it.
Weapon.
Let me get your name here.
One works, I think. Or that one is working.
Good. Sicilian.
You got it?
There you go.
I
so
got
there's
it.
the 2 of you.
Okay.
Let me
I'm still
loading in.
I don't know. How do you change your name in here? Probably settings.
I think it's based off
Yeah.
your Steam profile name, but I don't know. You kind of mess around with it.
I
Put
think
the gear in the top right.
Rocket.
Username.
So you're like this roguish human vampire woman. But are you going to play like an archer or like in your face kind of person?
Probably like an archer more so, but
Want to
I'm
do the
gonna.
archer thing again?
Yeah. like
Sure, I
that.
think you should try to maybe change it up. Play stab you in the
Yeah.
back kind of person, maybe.
Yeah, I got some scimitars and some daggers.
It's up to you. At the end of the day, you know, whatever you want to do there. Whatever you want to do, Istra.
There we go. Okay. So what are the
I'm looking.
choices?
There we go. I was typing in a capital I instead of a lowercase l. That would explain why.
I'm trying to find a really good model. This one is an archer model, but there's really just not that many good models, man. It's really sad. I think the elf model
Cannot
is
wait
better.
until Hero Forge.
Yeah.
That should be like soon too. Right?
Yeah, it should
I'm
be.
hoping so, yeah.
Don't jinx us.
That's kind of more of a fighter. This is like the model I think we'd have to use, unfortunately. Let me populate you into this. Istra, there you go. What do you think? That's not the. Is that a guy? I don't even know if it's a woman. No, it's a woman. She's got a little ponytail.
Does she? Okay.
What do you
It's
think?
not that cute, but
I know it
I'll
sucks.
roll with it.
It doesn't need to be perfect. Sorry, go ahead. Do you want to have like, there's like kind of like a cultist member. I'm thinking what for 3-hour monologue. I mean, here's another kind of model, wizardy sort of model, and then that's human at least. If I go to humanoid, I wonder if we can get any. They got really wacky models over here. Like this one might be another. It's like a, what is this guy? You know, what do we got? I don't know. It's desperate times, man. I go to elf. Like here's another one. Here's the archer. That was the Alarian model used, by the way, from before, which is maybe a nicer model. You're like wearing a mask. I'm trying to pick a wizard model for you, Rebecca. I'm trying to find
gotcha.
just like a good wizard model here.
Honestly,
Yeah,
if you pick any
They don't have very many.
sexy female wizard,
I'm trying to find sexy female wizard.
yeah.
Enter in the search bar.
There's a lot of like commoner type.
All want to
yeah,
be
yeah.
hot, okay?
I know. Like if needed, you could just go very communal based because
I think we just have to
She's
go
not
kind of
very
basic.
she's a very basic person. If she lived in modern times, she's the type of person who buys the same very foodie Starbucks drink every single time.
Check this out. This is the one I got for you, right here,
Mm-hmm.
with the flashlight. And then the other one I was thinking is like this one, really. But I mean, this one is like kind of like I'm thinking like warlock, culty. You know, you're wearing a lot of robes or something.
She's less robes and more in your face and just happens to be a warlock.
Like
Less-
more sexy,
Yeah, more sexy.
less clothes. Got it. All right, let's take this off. How about we'll just pick this model for now, and then you guys can jump over to the Tailspire Discord and harass the developers over there.
There you go.
I think I like the other model, like the one with the more green than this other one.
You like Alarian's model that we used?
Yeah. Mhm.
Rebecca, your name is Adeline, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me also make this model unique. There we go. Okay, I'm going to switch you over then, Istra, to this other model. There we go. Let's delete this one,
Yeah.
and let's call you Istra.
That's better.
And then also make your model unique. Okay. Ruchi, what does your character kind of look like? Again, we're like in desperate times, though.
Yeah. I mean,
Here's kind of another, like, there's another model I put out there, by the way, that might,
see.
it's a Fey model, but it's like less clothes, sort of sexy. Kind of reminds me of maybe a genie. I don't know. It's it's one of the Fae models. I got it out right here. I don't know.
I don't know if it fits my character, but
What about your character, Rebecca? What about you, Adeline?
Part of the problem is that my Tailspire is being so slow to load that those characters are not showing up for me.
Oh god.
So someone wants
Oh,
to
I think you'd like that one. It's hot.
There's another kind of hot one. Again, it's more of like a Fae creature, more of a belly dancer or something like that. This one right here.
It's the green one is a little too woodlandy.
Yeah, it's got like stuff in the hair and the.
We can do like. Yeah, I was gonna be honest that she's like, as if she like how I imagine her is, she wears like sort of the like a tavern bench top, but then wears pants because it's more useful for walking around in.
And Nicole, you're playing an artificer. You're playing a human variant artificer.
yeah.
Let's see if we can find something like with mechanical stuff on it. I don't think we can, especially like a female.
Am I?
What armor are you wearing?
I think I just did it like leather. So we could just. But she should look kind of like. She should look pretty like no.
You said you want the
How do I say
dual
it?
wield.
Dual wield pistols, yeah.
It's like a dual wield swordsman. They don't have anybody with firearms in here. It's so sad.
So rude.
Yeah,
I
once
don't
it
have to
gets
do-
Hero 4, it should be fantastic.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything on my side at the moment, right? I have.
No.
Okay, cool. Because I'm in Tailspire. But
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
like,
have to give you permission. It's like I'm trying to just find you a model real quick.
Got you.
I'm trying to think. Do you want to wear like more armor though? I mean, this is like a guy, you know, like this is one of the more like warforged kind of guys, which is kind of cool.
I would like to be a girl.
Of course, you know. Well, I mean, I have these two models here. I mean, I don't know if they work. I think this one works for Adeline more. Let's change her.
Yeah.
Let's change
Can
Adeline over.
Can we
sounds
see like what models are available or no?
Give me 1 second.
I feel like I should be able to see.
Oh yeah, now it shows up on my screen. That's far more in line with Adeline.
I'm trying to work. This is like the point where like, you know, a guy's trying to like polish that turd to make it as best as possible. To try to make the player model, which is like sacred. And it's just, it is what it is. I don't see like any like mechanical. I mean, the most lamest model, this is the only model I think. I mean, this is like a guy though, so no, that wouldn't even work. I think we're gonna have to give you the other model. Or do you want to have a bug? Here's another one, but I mean, again, it's more like a commoner's model. It's not really like epic or gunslingery. I'm gonna just put this model out and have you load it into the board. Give me a second. Ruchi. So you see that? I just gave you this model right here.
Oh, okay.
There's another model here, which is kind of this like sexy. I don't know. I think if like you're probably being more like an artificer wearing like heavier armor, less sexy.
She can be sexy, well clothed. It's all right.
Cool.
So
There was another model. I mean, it wasn't great. It was the one that I used for this, the other one. Like here, this one. You see, this is a guy though, I think, yeah. It's like a bandit guy. Yeah, he's a guy. So I mean, you kind of have your choice, you know, like this model or that model. They have nobody with guns. I know they are working on a cyberpunk thing. The devs are working on it, but they just have not imported the models.
Gotcha.
Like they only have 4 Dragon Folk models. It's sad.
So sad.
So what do you think? Why don't we just go with this model here? It's kind of simple, but whatever.
Yeah, we can just do that.
Kind of
for
get the ball
now.
rolling.
Yeah.
CC. Oh, For some reason I can't rename it. What's going on? Maybe because I have to make it unique. Oh boy. Little bug. Okay. You can use the arrow keys to move your character around. Each movement is 5 feet. And then I don't know why your character got all funky and crooked there.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I think it was a status effect thing you put on your character. I think we're ready to go, guys. So how it works is we only use the battle board when we are combat really is up. You know, I can pull up a battle map, or you guys are going to a location as a DM. I kind of prep it, but it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you guys can do whatever you want, right? So you don't have to do it just because I give you a plot hook or several plot hooks. I mean, in the end, I guess you can only do one anyways, usually, and then stuff happens in the world. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to read off the backstory as we begin. You guys can feel free to ask questions. You guys are all together, right? Just to kind of do it. The reason why you guys are all together is you guys have all answered the call of a posting on the Adventurers Guild's posting. And the Adventurers Guild has posted a king's reward to bring forth the local noble of the son of the former king of Stormbrook, of the now fallen House Viggal. So it's a noble house called House Viggal, and we are the current king, Ian Parnish, has put out a bounty to go get the next in line to the old house that had claim to the throne. Thomas Viggal is seen by a local hero to some, and an illegitimate heir to the throne to others. And Ian Parnish wants to see this threat of legitimacy as him as the new king taken care of. As the city was liberated about 2 weeks ago by the invasion of the darkness. Other heroes had come in and liberated this city and have gone north to Barovia to handle another matter entirely. And they were sent off to basically capture or rescue Lord Viggal's daughter, Emperor Rhys's Viggal. The king apparently had died of natural causes before Ian Parnish, who was the advisor to the king, had taken over the throne. Thomas Viggal's bounty has risen now to an enormous sum of money. He's wanted dead or alive for 1,000 gold pieces, which is to be paid by Ian Parnish himself, the King of Stormbrook, His Highness. This is equivalent to 10,000 days' labor. So it is an enormous sum of money in commoners' terms, and thus why only the strongest and bravest have answered this call, adventurers like yourself. This bounty has called in a large number of would-be adventurers and other so-called bounty hunters to find him. You and your band of adventurers have tracked or got a lead on where this bounty is at, this mark is at. And some of you are here for your own reasons, and you can fill in that backstory if you want, if you really want to. But you've answered the call of the Adventurers Posting Guild, and now that the city of Stormbrook is free, you're willing to begin. You're right now outside the sewers is where you think he is hiding out in, beneath the city. The sewers were a part of the ancient kingdom of the humans built. Now it's just decayed, really, or poorly maintained, as the technology and the orcs who occupied the city for almost 2 decades has neglected much. The city, though, has a new spirit of rejuvenation, is trying to rebuild the fallen things as best they can. But you guys are outside of this, and you look before you. It's kind of like that scene in It, looking down that huge cavern into the sewers. A stream of putrid waste, human waste. The smell is horrendous. Fills your nostrils as our adventure begins.
We're already a party.
You're already a party.
Okay.
With the common objective of finding him and maybe getting the gold and claiming the gold. It's up to you guys. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, gosh, this place stinks. Ugh.
Quiet yourself.
Ugh.
Let us move on, as I've considered you all competent to my standards. Shall we begin?
Yes, please.
Guess
As
we
quick as possible.
got no other choice.
I'll go after you.
Very well. I'll lead the way. Don't fall too far behind. All right, I'm going to step in.
Dragonborn don't have any way to see. The way forward is just dark. You have no dark vision.
I will be using a torch that I have prepared for going into a dark cave.
I'm gonna follow right behind.
You have a huge, like, two-handed weapon, though, right? How can you wield that and the torch at the same
I'll
time?
drop it at the site of fight.
Okay. You look down at the stream, though. You could drop it right into the water, and it just go out, right? And then you'd be blind.
So we're walking through there's no like side walkways. It's all just sewage, right?
You light the torch. You take your flint out and strike it upon the cloth. It ignites as you look forward. And I'll load the battle map if we're going in.
Mm-hmm. How
No, go ahead.
How long is how much space do we have? Is there enough for me and him to stand side by side where I could be like the eyesight as well as he?
Halflings don't have dark vision, do they?
I believe
I do.
They
if
do.
If anyone needs that.
So for those people, how dark vision works is you just see like the faint outlines, right? Of it, but the Dragonborn bravely steps forward. And I'm just going to load the battle map. Some of these questions, like technical stuff, is just handled by the battle board, right? You're like, how big and wide is this? And all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're going to load up the battle
I'm
map.
wrong. My bad. I'm blind.
Yeah, they don't have, they do not have dark vision.
I think I was looking at a specific one a long time ago.
Hellspire is so awesome. I can't wait to see the map.
I've tried to make your guys a unique model. So how it works is I port in the models, and then we, yeah. So there's the ambience, the sewers. Let's actually load up the, this here. We don't need that, do we? Okay. So I have to go into the unique area and drop you guys in.
So we have Dragonborn and our monk halfling going in first. I will take the wheel unless someone else wants to.
Go ahead.
All right.
This is what it looks like. Let me summon you guys to the board. Cool, huh? 3-hour guidance, cool. So you see I put the torch effect on your character, right?
Okay, yeah.
You can double click your character. Now I can't I'm not super technical about it. I'm not hiding like all the other shit in the rooms, but you can't see other creatures or things as you step forward. So I guess this, like what you're saying, I guess you could drop the torch off to the side here.
Okay.
You're splashing
So
through basically human
The
feces.
illumination of it's like the slight illumination effects I'm seeing now. That's like I can actually see that also, right? Or is it pitch black?
Yeah, strangely enough, someone has festooned a torch in here. It looks like your lead was correct. You're on the track.
I will. I'm gonna go ahead to this door.
Yeah. Why don't you make a perception roll?
What's it? Oh, nat 20 with.
Got a nat 20?
Yeah. Did you get that?
Yeah, I see that. Cool, huh? See how that works? All the rolls are kind of on the table and open. You're kind of stepping forward. What is else everybody doing? Now you can move your character into your own marching order and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow directly, like directly behind him.
You catch the eye of something like splashing in the water coming down the stream. You're not alone. What do you do?
Who goes there?
I pull out my short sword.
Okay.
I
Just in
will
case.
approach towards the splashing.
Do you drop your torch?
No.
You see the eyes of something submersible coming slowly out of the sewage water. You're not strange to those things of scales and nature. It begins to crawl out of the sewage, step by waddled step. It's a giant alligator.
All right.
I will put it out in the battle board. Or giant. It's a crocodile. See, I've revealed it now. See that?
Yeah.
It's right here.
All
So
right.
this is kind of the practice dungeon, guys, to kind of help get in the flow of things.
I will toss my torch to the left.
Yeah.
And withdraw my weapon.
Cool. So this is how it works. I have to go into my encounters and actually draw up this encounter. Since we just made the characters, sometimes like as a DM, like I'll try to be as prepared as possible. But since we don't have like all the players and the players weren't created, I just have to create a new thing. But I'm going to create the encounter with the two crocodiles, and then we'll go from there.
Are you rolling initiative?
How it works is, let me just create this real quick. For some reason it doesn't have it. I'm trying to figure out how to select you guys in the campaign here. Okay. There we go. I just had to toggle the campaign over. Save. Okay. You guys can roll initiative now. I auto roll initiative. The crocodiles roll a 15. And it automatically populates it. So Arno, everybody rolled except for Arno because he's not here. He's off sleeping or something. He does work a third shift. And how we're going to do it, just to kind of give you some familiarity to it, is basically I enter a new mode in Tailspire here called Combat Mode. I'm going to enter the initiative order now. So Exodin's up first, then CC. CC, are you in here? Oh yeah, yours are the commoner. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. Estra. And off to the side. Then the Crocs are up. And then Adeline. Okay, back here a little bit. Dicillion is up after that. And that is the whole order. You see that? Now that Tailspire is up, you guys can see at the very top the initiative count, and this kind of helps out with the battle commandment. Exodin's up first.
All right. I am going to use my breath weapon in
Okay.
a straight line towards that first alligator.
So see, I hit the 1 or 2 tool, or I'm sorry, I hit the M tool, M key, and I can kind of draw a breath weapon attack like that. But you said it's a line like that?
Yeah, it's a line.
See that? It's 30 feet. Yeah, so
Yep.
you hit the alligator with it. Describe what you do, man.
As I open my jaws, you see spark gaps between my sharp teeth, and I unleash a strong jolt of electrical energy directly in front of me. And that is 2. It's a Dex DC of 12 for the alligator, and 2d6 for damage.
See, I rolled a dex save there. I failed the dex save. I rolled an 8. You see that?
All right. I did not see it.
The crocodile there. You see that? It's the last roll in the combat log. Do you see it?
Is this in Tailspire or D&D Beyond?
D&D Beyond. I failed the dex save, so you do how much damage? 6 damage of lightning damage?
Yeah.
Like 8 more screens.
Nice. I like that. The water like electrifies and sparkles and highlights this like putrid sewer cave that ancient, built maybe centuries ago by the Old Kingdom, left derelict. Cece is up. Right?
Okay, yeah.
You're up.
If I shoot from where I am, like, can I do that?
You're trying to shoot at the crocodile here?
Yeah, or is there like, are we saying there's too many things in the way?
Basically, he's under partial cover, right? So just a -2 to the roll,
Okay.
unless you reposition.
Let me see if I can. Can I reposition? Because it looks like this area right here is really like.
You want to try to cross across the splash of the water?
I feel like CC wouldn't want to. Kind of
Okay.
looks dirty. You know? I mean, you know.
Why don't you make a roll? Just don't roll a 1, otherwise you're going to hit somebody. Maybe your new Dragonborn friend.
Uh-oh. All right.
Roll it up. That's what you want to do. Otherwise, you could just use the help action or wait or cast a spell.
I can do it. Nat
And that's
20.
a 20, the first one. So you remember I said those custom nat 20 rolls? Roll another 20. See if you roll another 20, right?
Regular 1d20.
Yeah, just roll a regular 1d20.
Let me see if I can find it. There it is.
So
8.
you didn't roll another 20. Do you understand? It's never come up, but it's kind of a cool roll. I like it. Roll critical damage. Now, how critical damage works, right? Just roll your base weapon damage, right? So roll it up.
Okay.
And that will automatically add any modifiers to your roll.
12.
So yeah, the pistol. That's cool. I forgot that you're using the pistol. So you use 12 plus 12. You crack a shot. Skilled. We also need to describe your guys' characters. I always mess up that part too. What does your character look like, and how do you destroy this crocodile? By cracking in between the eyes or something, right? With your pistol?
Yes. So, Cece is, you can tell she's like up there in the hierarchy of the underground world. She looks the part. There's a little slightly intimidating air about her. And, she skillfully, weaves through all of the obstacles in the way and hits the gator right in the middle between his eyes for a lovely little headshot. Just smack, and you can hear it.
With your gun shooting off in the cavern, it echoes throughout the whole cavern. You've disturbed a nearby crocodile.
Of course I would.
You must have... The torchlight is too far from you. The other crocodile's right here. I put it out. You split it out. Its brains are splattered within the putrid pus of the sewage. And it falls down and dies. I just delete the model when it's destroyed. The other crocodile, though, is coming up from behind. And this is what your gun sounds like. We're going to try it, I guess.
Okay. I'm
Istra's
gonna have to
up.
make us... Yeah.
Now you have to reload your gun or something, right?
I think...
I have to review the rules on that again. I know there's like a lot of re-rolling, and if you roll a 1 or misfires and stuff like that. Istra, what do you want to do? This crocodile has just submerged deep beneath this sewage right here. It's actually kind of next to you too, because you're right here. You kind of position yourself carefully in the corner across from your capo, part of the crime guild.
Let's see. If I move forward, would that be advantage or like attack of opportunity?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna move to like right here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take out my longbow.
Okay.
and take a shot.
Shoot
at
away.
it.
Nice.
Uh,
I think they have a pretty low AC
13.
though. Gotta pull it up. They only have an AC of 12, so you hit.
Yay!
4 damage.
4 damage.
The hide of the crocodile is thick as your arrow pierces into its flesh. Aladdin is up.
Hi.
Oh, actually, I'm up.
Adeline.
I forgot because I deleted. So what happens
yeah.
is I deleted the other model. So
Gotcha.
that was kind of my like reference, this model. So how I do it is I adjust it like that. Boop. And see, I just put the crocodile back in. The crocodile has a pretty good swim speed. It swims up out of the water though, and pretty much comes up to Cece, who just fired the gunshot. It's mostly startled by that, I guess. It takes a bite at Cece. Its huge jaws crunch down with power. Here we go. +4 to hit. Hit with a 21. Cece has an AC of 16.
I'll get hit.
And you take 9 points of damage. You have 10 HP, so you have 1 HP left.
Oh
Plus-
my gosh.
The crocodile bites down into your leg. Your leg almost comes clean off. And you're also grappled now with the alligator as it begins to waddle slowly backwards into the muck and drag you underwater.
No.
So I'm going to just
my
move the model
clothes.
back a little bit like that. Adeline, yeah, your clothes are now tarnished with the piss of all the citizens of Stormbrook. Adeline is up.
Oh god.
Holy shit.
Literally.
And you watch, as she keeps like a small sort of metal ball that's attached to a chain that's wrapped around her waist and stuff, and it starts to like emit this sort of bluish smoke, like incense thing that sort of falls to the ground. And as she does some hand movements, the smoke sort of forms up into a sort of this very interesting ball like things, and she'll cast Eldritch Blast
Awesome.
at the crocodile. And that will miss.
Unfortunately, it skews off. Your eyesight of you guys all trying to min-max and play humans, you guys are almost blind as a bat. I should give you disadvantage on the roll because it's dark and it's difficult to see. Decillion is up, the monk halfling.
Ready. So I see like this all happening around, kind of panicking. I'll run in between Adeline's legs and push through right by what's your name again?
DC.
CC, my bad. And I'll try to like atmospherically try to crack into crocodile's mouth to like shatter its leg so she can give the opportunity to leave. I want to ungrapple if I can.
Just try to strike it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, so you're trying to grab the jaws of the alligator and free Cece from its death
give her a
grip.
chance. Yeah.
You have to roll. It's actually how grappling works. Is we roll. We basically roll opposing rolls. So you can use to overpower the creature. You have to use strength, athletics as your ability score. So roll an athletics check. I counter roll using athletics or acrobatics. I have a +2 to strength, so I'll make my roll. I rolled a 19. What do you roll?
Natural one, but halfling.
Roll again. Yeah, it's true.
Nice.
I like it.
Very nice.
Oh my gosh.
The curse of the double ones.
No.
Of course.
No way.
Of
Across
course.
the internet, the DM
Our
casts
first nat
juju.
20.
Are
Our
you
first double nat
serious?
1.
Can
You
I?
gotta be kidding me.
How to describe how your character utterly fails.
So I try to like slightly open jaw, it's not working, so I like try again, but it's so slippery. I'm just trying to go in so much where I kind of like splash in the water right by the crocodile.
Nice. The crocodile slowly begins to drag CC under the putrid smell. Exodus is up.
Alright.
You look back, your
That-
torch is on
water
the ground, right?
difficult. Yeah.
You have to pick up your torch.
That's going to be in darkness, right? When I go up to the alligator without the torch.
Yeah, as you see, it's like nobody else has a torch out, just you, and like you just get disadvantage on the attack.
All right.
Unless you pick up the thing, throw it, but that takes like an action, right?
Yeah, so I'm not going to be doing that. And then the water is difficult terrain.
It's like swimming, really.
Okay. Then I will go 1, 2. Is this diagonal?
Just whatever, man. I'm not that hardcore about it. If you really want to, we use the M tool like this to draw paths. So there's like your 30 feet of movement. So I'm going to say you can get up to the alligator and attack it, man.
All right.
You just attack with disadvantage. I will remove your torch effect, right? Kind of keep it realistic.
All right. And let's go.
So to roll with disadvantage or advantage, you can simply right-click the roll in D&D Beyond, and a drop-down will show up, and that way you can just roll it with advantage or disadvantage automatically.
I don't see how to do the.
So you go to the attack roll, part of the greatsword,
Oh,
and you right-click that. So you just rolled straight up, so roll one more time. Don't worry, just a little bit of practice. You guys will get it. All the controls. So you rolled an 11. Has an AC of 12, so misses barely. You crack into the side, as it's getting kind of clustered, as CC unfortunately is being dragged in within an inch of her life. CC is up.
Oh man.
You still have your gun in your hand, but you are grappled with the creature.
So am I able to like shoot? Am I able to still shoot at the
Yes.
alligator?
Yes.
Okay, but
Do you have to reload your weapon though?
I don't think so.
So there's
I think
how it works is I just remembered there's so many shots you can take before you have to reload.
Yeah.
So I think you get
with the
3 shots.
pistol I think with the pistol it was 4.
Don't make me look it up.
3, 4. 3, 4, 4, 3.
Go ahead and shoot. It don't have to be that hardcore, man. It's just the first session.
Okay.
Roll it up. Crack back with your weapon. You take a shot and roll a natural 1. Your gun jams.
Of course it does. All right. Could I do?
I guess that's
Can
what it
I
sounds like.
Can I do my bonus action? My dual wield, my second pistol. Is that okay?
I have to look at the rules and stuff on that. But you have the feat for it, so why not? We'll just roll for it, man.
Okay.
Usually dual wielding, we buff dual wielding too. That's something I didn't really talk about too much. So how it works is, the way I kind of just simplified dual wielding is, if you on your first attack, you get attack with both your weapons. Your offhand, you don't get your proficiency. You don't get the modifiers though, right?
Yeah.
Roll damage. You hit with a 14.
Nice. 6 points of damage.
It's not enough to kill the crocodile, but it does wound it, and it's now bloodied.
Okay.
The gunfire goes off and erupts again, echoing throughout the whole sewer. Anybody else that knew you were coming now knows you're here.
I need a silencer for my guns. You
Probably.
know?
Just have to go and modify it somehow. Talk to a gnome. Istra's up. You see your capo being dragged underwater within an inch of her life.
I'm gonna get close enough where I can pull out my scimitar.
By the way, we messed up. You actually have to roll with disadvantage on that attack, but we'll do it next time. It's not a big deal, right? Because you're shooting into darkness. I mean, the alligator is right there.
Dark vision, though.
Well, the alligator's right there. Also, you get disadvantage because you're attacking with the ranged melee weapon in combat, right? Against a melee target. So a melee, I think you get disadvantage on that attack as well. And guess what that would be in our rules? That would be 2 stacks of disadvantage. So you'd roll 2d20, take the lowest, -2. That's okay. We'll keep it for now. Istra, what do you want to do?
So I'm confused. So
I
if
know.
I want to use my,
Me,
if I want
I'm
to use my scimitars on the
You draw out your
alligator.
scimitar. Yeah, roll it up.
All right.
You just roll with disadvantage, right, on the attack. Now, how
Do you have
flanking
dark
works?
vision?
Yeah, how flanking works? You're actually flanking the alligator, right? So you get +2 to the roll, but you attack with disadvantage. What was your question, Adeline?
I thought Istra had dark vision.
I do.
Oh, she does. That's right. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
She does. As a Dampier, she does. So you roll an 18, you hit. Roll damage.
Yay.
You draw out your scimitar blade, a weapon maybe from Husad.
And do I get sneak attack because I have somebody close
That's
by?
right. You do. Roll sneak attack damage. How do you kill the alligator?
9.
You've just killed it.
I decapitate it with my scimitar.
You crawl across its back and take the scimitar out, and you take the sword clean off and just begin to hack away slowly, or kind of quickly actually, across the alligator's neckline. Decillion, you see this, and I don't know if this is a symbol of like horrific for you to watch, as the alligator eyes go dead. I go back to exploration mode when we break out of combat. What do you guys do?
Not blood in my clothes. God. Darn it. Probably didn't matter anyway. There's crap and pee over here. Oh, gosh. I tried to climb out and just went out all the disgusting, grimy stuff from whatever in the wires. And gosh.
Do you have boots on?
If
Or are you just
Not
barefoot
boots.
like a normal, hobbit?
well, it's like leather. It's just regular leather around my feet. Nothing special.
The piss water has just fucking got right in it, and now your feet are just sloshing around in piss.
I'm gonna go barefoot.
Just fucking, you take the
them
boots
off.
off and attach them to
Take-
your backpack.
Can I use cure wounds to heal myself?
Yeah, so let me kind of introduce some of the healing mechanics. You can use Healing Surge, right? Which is your hit dice, which for a fighter is 1d10 plus your con mod. So you can use that. Your hit dice don't refresh, right, until you do a 3-hour rest. Instead of actually using resources or spell slots or potions, you can try to use your hit dice first if you wish. You can also
Okay.
use it in the midst of combat as an action.
Okay, I'll do that.
You take a second breath as you look down at your gnarled leg. The alligator bit down on with the bone-sickening crunch. So roll a D. Do you know how to roll the hit dice? It's in D&D Beyond. You can. I think it's in the top right
Okay.
of the hit dice thing there, and you just roll hit dice. If you want to, for now, you can just roll a D10 and add your con mod.
Okay. I'm trying to find where the hit dice is on the
I
thing.
think it's under short or long rest at the top.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't see it on mine, so I'm just gonna do the 1d10. you said?
Yep. 1d10 plus your
Okay.
con mod.
Okay.
Cool.
Con is +2, so 4.
You heal yourself for 4 HP. You're not back to what it is, so you're somewhat mentally drained by this attack. I'm thinking that your character takes out some bandages and maybe bandages off some of the blood seeping out of your leg. What do you guys
Yeah.
do?
Man, you took a beating.
Yes, I did. I was not expecting another one to come from behind.
Yeah, I saw that thing nearly took your leg off. That was. Whew.
Might I make a suggestion? The next time we go out and do something, let's not do it in a sewer. Yes?
Yes.
In a what?
That's probably a good idea.
Underground. In a sewer.
Yes, I am not a fan, if you haven't realized, of everything here. We should,
No, it smells like shit and piss.
yes.
Makes sense. But onward. Frankly, there's a lot of things I'm willing to do for that amount of money. And
This isn't
unfortunately,
much worse.
walking
than-
through this is one of those things.
This isn't much worse than rotting corpse. Let's continue if we may.
Rotting corpse. dinner in front of a nice bottle of wine and some candlelight. We have much different tastes and fancy smells.
Did we just take a short rest for CC to recover?
It's up to you guys. Short rest is 10 minutes.
I
Do we
think
want to
we
sit
were
here
just
for
doing
10 minutes?
I think we were just doing the healing sojourn, which basically CC was just doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
now, yeah, I've
So
like
let me
half
describe the
health.
healing surge thing again. Healing surge is just an action. It resets. It uses your hit dice as a resource, but resets every short rest.
Okay.
And then you, as a player, can choose how many hit dice you use for that healing surge.
All right. I will look back to see that everybody's good, and I will go ahead and open that door in front of me if it is not locked.
Wait. Okay.
Unless somebody's going to stop me before I do it.
No, go ahead.
All right.
We're willing to see what happens.
You just kind of like, how do you open the door?
Let me think. So does the door look like it's it looks like it's reinforced and probably locked.
You check it to
I'll
see if
just-
it's locked, and it's not locked. It starts to open up as you kind of push your way in. Is that what you want to do? Just kind of push your way in?
I'm gonna just slam it open.
Slam it open. So
Yeah.
how you can do it, it's kind of a cool feature. Right-click the door, and then
Alright.
request to open it. See, pretty cool, huh?
All right.
And so you kind of like just slam in, kind of going in wildly with no fear as a dragon would. But unfortunately ahead, you just kind of look up with your torchlight. You see two large ballistas wired to trap and shoot at you.
Ooh.
I'll make 2 attack rolls to see if I hit you.
That's what I was worried of.
So I'll roll the first one. I don't get any modifier with it. One of the bolts cling out. It looks like they would need to be manually reset by somebody. I rolled the second one here, and I rolled pretty low. I rolled a 9. So both of the bolts, you quickly shut the door as you hear the bolts fling out, and the bolts impale, into the door, and then you reopen it up, and this is what you see in the room: just a bunch of junk and clatter and all kinds of something here. But somebody's here, right? As you
I
wave
think
your
we're
burning
on
ember.
the right track. And I'll keep going a little bit more slowly this time, though. That's another door. I'll look around in this. Is there anything? Can I do an investigation? See if there's anything worth looting in this room.
Yeah.
I will also investigate in the room.
Okay. Roll it up. As Exodin like clumsily stumbles over like some just like urns or something shatters. You guys hear the sewage dripping around the drains outside. Somehow the sewage is still flowing in the city from somewhere or something.
While they do that, I'm gonna also
So you
look
see
at
I'm
the
going to move you into the
doorway.
room.
Look at the door for any possible traps, because that's what we just dealt with.
Are you proficient at like thieves' tools and stuff like that?
No, I'm just trying
I
my
am.
best.
I can come and help.
You feel the cold touch on your shoulder.
I was muted. I wanted to investigate as well. I'm
Sure.
also proficient in thieves' tools.
Okay. So you feel the cold touch of Istra go on your shoulder. Hey,
Oh God! Why me next time? Jesus.
and she basically says like she can handle it. You want to step back?
Yeah, you got it. I'm not the best suit for this, but if you can, go for it.
No problem.
So how searching for traps how searching for stuff works? There's several different ways to do it. The best way I've heard about doing is you roll a perception roll. Then if you find something interesting, you roll an investigation roll to figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll perception first.
Yeah, it's up to you. We can use the rolls that you used because you guys rolled
I'll
like
just
crap.
fail. I'll just fail it.
Yeah, you guys failed pretty hard.
Yeah, we all failed pretty hard.
I think I should put something in this room, though. So let me pull up my random generator.
Oh. Can I roll perception
Oh, same. Can I?
or investigation, maybe?
Can I?
Usually how it
Wait.
works, guys, this is the way it is. Instead of having 6 people just roll perception rolls and basically auto-winning, the person with the highest perception or 2 people can roll and give that person advantage, or just 2 people can roll and that's it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. We'll work on that next time.
You find a wand.
Wand?
Istra. It would need to be identified. But if you take it back to the Thieves Guild, I'm sure they would compensate you.
I will definitely pick it up.
You guys see, are you trying to like sneakily put it away, or are you like sharing the information with your capo?
I will share the information.
How do you do it?
I found this wand. It looks like I don't know what it does, but I'm sure someone back at the Scarlet Wolves should be able to help us out.
Is there anything special on it? Is there any descriptions or any like runes on it?
I don't know. Is there?
Really? I will link you a picture of the wand. It's wood, probably about a foot in length. It comes up to a knotted end at the top almost. Like a flower that's closed off.
Could I investigate it and like? So I guess I can't investigate the room anymore, right? Because we
Yeah.
rolled for that. Okay.
Yep.
But
You guys have
could I
thoroughly spent like 10 minutes tossed in the room. This is where it would be like a short rest technically. Right?
Okay. Could I investigate the wand then?
Roll it up.
Alright.
The capo wants the wand from you to manipulate it.
Yes.
Do you give it to her?
Sure.
You give her the wand. She begins doing something with it, saying a few words, I guess, waving it throughout the air. How do you try to investigate it?
I'm going to say if like so CC is going to just kind of like go through the ridges of the wand and and kind of investigate see if there's any like runes on there or like anything noteworthy that she might recognize to be
Are you
able
proficient
to
in
kind
Arcana?
Arcana, no, but I'm proficient in investigation.
Unfortunately, this seems something that the mages would make. You can't
Ah,
quite wrap
okay.
your head around it, but it looks promising, and hopefully Ilarion, the guild leader, will reward you handsomely for it, unless you want to keep it for yourself. Ilarion is your boss. The boss of the Scarlet Wolves.
Alarion?
Ilarion.
Alarion. Okay. So Istra, we can, I'm gonna hand it back to her since she's the one who found it. Since you found it, it's up to you. You can take it back to the Thieves Guild and see what it is, or maybe if we have a mage that is going to help us in the future, perhaps they could use it as well.
That sounds like a absolutely fantastic idea.
I'm glad you think so, darling. Now, should we? Oh wait, so we've rested now already?
You guys have had a short rest. So
Did you,
over the course of
can
a
I
short
heal?
rest, you can use your hit dice. But see, you already used your 1 hit dice, so you're out of hit
Oh.
dice. Do you understand?
Okay.
But you can use like spells and stuff. And you're an artificer, right? So no, you don't have the second wind feat as a fighter.
No, but I can cure wounds.
You want to cast a spell on yourself?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
So, as an artificer, I guess I have a bunch of little gadgets and little inventions, right? So, I'm gonna make this one simple. I'm gonna take out like a syringe of and I'm just gonna like stab it into my arm.
Stand back.
Yeah, like a stim pack, and it's going to like give me the that adrenaline and the boost I need to keep going, even with my wound.
Roll it up.
Istra, did you check the door yet?
What would I need to roll for that?
Perception.
Sleight of hand? Perception?
I rolled a 9.
So you heal yourself for 9, right?
Yeah.
You're fully healed now.
Oh.
I rolled very badly.
See, this would be a roll that's like wisdom based, which would be hidden to prevent metagaming, correct? So like the logic I was telling you about house rules, right?
Yeah.
The coast is clear.
Well, are we good to continue?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Very well. I'll go ahead, assuming this door is safe, and do the same thing I did in the last door.
You open the door up, you have a torch on. You get the only person that has a torch. You walk in, you hear voices from down the hall that are prepared for you. Halt. It appears to be
What
like.
do you want?
Are you proficient in like history at all?
No.
Okay. They have a sigil encrusted on their tunics, right? You can't identify it though without being proficient in history.
Okay.
Go back.
I'm proficient in history.
So am I.
Yeah,
I
but-
think there's something of interest to me beyond you. Go ahead and step aside. Can I do an intimidation roll for that?
Yeah. I like that.
Ah, damn.
A 9? No, it'd be like
Yeah.
against their. So there's like ability DCs. No, it's just too low, unfortunately.
Alright.
We're not scared of you.
So we are. This is where we're led to thinking this is where the.
You take one more step, we'll unload onto you. They both draw their crossbows.
But these people seem like very nice clothing and all that.
They have nice is a relevant term. They look like they've been living in the sewers.
But it would seem like it's high quality fabric, even though it's very dirty and.
Make an insight roll. Nice.
Hey.
Heyo. What are you trying to figure out?
Because I'm predicting we're here to find where the old king is, so I'm trying to assume if these people are truly might be guards for him, they would also have higher quality if they were used to protect the old, used to discard the king.
They're wearing like leather armor, really. I mean, it's
nothing.
like pretty standard like stuff for a guard. They obviously, they're guard or commoner type stuff. Nothing like out of the ordinary. They're not like full plate Knights of the Realm or anything like that.
Alrighty.
You take one more step, we'll put holes in you. State
I'll
your
turn
business.
back to the crew. Well, what do you all want?
Gosh, I'm gonna fucking go for it. Please, we need no harm. We're only here to help out. I need a quick reminder. Who's the old king again?
King Vic.
We're here to
King
find Thomas.
King
So
King Viggal, you said?
Uzbek Viggal is the formal king.
We're just here to look for Buddhist Viggal. We're here to warn him for a search on him, and we just wanted to warn him.
Make a deception roll.
19 again.
Nice. I'll make a d20 roll. I don't roll that high, right? Roll a 14. Is that my sister's voice I hear? A man kind of cautiously steps behind the bodyguards, and you recognize him. It's the man on the wanted poster, Thomas Viggal.
Brother, I have
Please.
been looking for you.
Could be an illusion, sire. Watch yourself. Does Istra step forward?
Yes.
I'm gonna be given kind of a dirty look as she walks by me.
Okay. They kind of tell you to stop, before you get that close, right? Before you get like in melee range with them, they're like, stop. And they're like, could be an illusion sign. Only my sister would know the name of the tree we played under. What was the name of the tree that we played under as children? Outside of the walls of Stormbrook.
Great oak tree.
The great oak tree? But what was its name?
Sebastian.
Yes, that was the name of our pet dog. Wasn't it? I think it's her. She looks different, though, as your eyes twinkle with like a red haze in the torchlight behind Exodin.
Gone through quite.
Who are your
journey
friends?
to find you. Well,
We heard the gunshot.
there were crocodiles down in this disgusting sewer. You have made your lair.
Yes.
Why have you not taken on this, Ian? And why are you hiding?
Why are you looking for me? With these strangers?
Well, there is a bounty on your head, brother. Quite a large one. And I knew if someone was going to find you, it might as well be me.
And who are these strangers of yours?
Well, like we said, we mean no harm. We just only want to know what's going on.
It's a lady in waiting and the bodyguards that we hired and, her whole entourage.
My name is Cece. I supervise your sister at work. I came along with to make sure that she's gonna be safe. We heard that there are dangers in the sewers these days, and I couldn't, in my correct mind, let her go by herself. You see, you understand.
My sister's of royal blood, and she has no master. This is strange.
I am not her master. I only help her out at work.
She's the tutor. She helps with things. It's a difference in culture of like the phrasing that we're calling, supervisor, when really she's the governess. I am your sister's maid, and these are all two bodyguards that we hired for, joining to go find you.
This all
And I
seems
will
very strange.
sort of like smile, small thing, like jab at CC's, like go along with it.
I have joined
Yes.
with. So go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I apologize. I am from far away. I do not know the right words of the culture here.
I have joined with the Scarlet Wolves. Alarian. Her husband that ruled with her is no more. So she has become quite powerful and helped me.
You always were the one to go out late at night and sneak around. Now your friends are thieves and ruffians, I see, and you've come to kill me and take the bounty for yourself?
Well, that all depends.
You're going to kill your own brother? Just because some lord who took our throne says so.
Well, what do you propose? It doesn't look like you're taking any thrones from this sewer.
He stands perplexed and silent. I suggest you leave. Forget I was ever here.
I don't think we can do that. But I think I did have a plan where all of us could get paid quite handsomely and maybe take out this pretender and put you on the throne where you should be, brother.
Go on.
Well, we have been hired to come and take you, dead or alive, preferably alive. And we bring you to this Ian, and we basically set up an ambush and kill him. And take the money that is owed. Once we've been paid, we'll make sure you're protected.
Don't you think it's strange how he was able to coerce all my father's gods, our father's gods? You've changed. You're more bold than before. But what you're suggesting is straight up suicide.
I don't believe so. I believe Ian is weak and underestimates the ruffians he thinks he's hired.
Not sure. If you take me to Ian, I'm sure a dead man. And you'll just collect the bounty as intended.
Well, what if we...
Try to make a persuasion roll, I guess, if you want to. He obviously doesn't buy the fact that, like, you know, you're with all these people, so you rolled a 20. The DC is probably like 25, though, I guess, because it's like him going back. I mean, he's open to the idea maybe a little bit, but just going to Ian, he's like, that's certain death.
What if you came with us to Ilarion and the Scarlet Wolves, and we can make a plan from there?
This ruffian you speak of, captain of the guard, I hear horrible things about her, rumors, from my own network of spies. I couldn't trust her as far as I could throw this copper piece.
You're making things very difficult, brother.
I will not be taken in by thieves.
DM,
Yeah?
would I know the history of how this family has fallen and why? Yeah, I want to like know the history of like.
Roll a history check.
Yeah. I was looking for a real dice. For
Say
a
the
second,
DC is
by the way.
12.
Ah, 12.
Perfecto.
You asked and I shall give.
The king, which is Istra's and Thomas's father, died of quote-unquote natural causes not too long ago. But strangely shortly after the city was liberated. There was a large festival. There was a large festival, and he was apparently died in his bed. He was an old man, anyways, but he had succumbed to natural illness or a strange illness. Ian, the advisor to him, who was like the head advisor, basically stepped in to assume the position, and instead of going to the next in line or next of kin, like as old nobles of noble houses, he just stepped in and assumed command.
Yeah, I would see him public influence is iffy on that.
What are you trying to do?
I was
I was just gauging on how, if I really do want to turn him in, or if I want to help out. That was me gauging that.
Cool.
And Cece's going to speak up and say, I can understand your suspicions about the Thieves Guild, and then also to go back to the current ruler seems quite risky, I might say. I do think that it would be worth us working together. As you can see, that we are here to help your sister, and your sister is here to help you. And perhaps we can figure something out to be able to do something about this situation at a place that is not the sewers would be nice.
I don't know. I
Yes.
feel quite safe here, but we're always changing our location to prevent people like you from finding us.
Ah, I see.
You will be found, brother. Do you want to go with family, or do you want to go with strangers who will just drag you there? Maybe just bring your head.
Adeline is gonna lean forward to talk to like Brandon and whisper in his ear. It's like, I'm gonna be honest. I've kind of lost track of what we're doing. Do you have any idea?
I think we're trying to help them out, but I don't know if they're trying to catch the bluff. I'm actually gonna try roll insight check on Istra, see if I truly believe what like she really wants to help her out or not.
Sure. I don't know, Istra. Looks like one of your party members is kind of questioning what you're trying to do. Are you trying to... Are you just going to turn this guy in? What's the plan? He rolls a 20. I mean, you can roll a counter roll. One of the house rules is you can't roll insight rolls on other players.
Oh.
I'll just straight tell you. I am trying to... My brother is a good man, and he is... This Ian, I believe, killed my father. I don't believe that he died naturally, as he said, and I think that he is a tyrant and will be terrible for Stormbrook, and it seems like the crime syndicate feels the same way, as we had, I would say, a good working relationship with them.
I will lean into Brandon and ask again. Okay, you know, oh, actually, I was alive. I'm confused.
Can you repeat that one time? It kind of cut
Yeah.
off.
No problem. She'll kind of whisper, speak, while also kind of like covering her mouth and whispering into it. Brandon's ear. Sorry, not Brandon. Decillian's ear. Are they actually related? I'm kind of confused. I'm losing track on what is real and what was a lie. I thought we were lying.
I actually think they're telling the truth. This is a bit
Okay, now
crazy.
I'm extra confused.
Well, there.
I'm very sorry. I was not truthful. But I
mean,
knew.
just me whispering to Decillian.
Okay.
Not saying this like out loud to the rest of the group. So this is while you guys are having this conversation between you two. I'm like, okay.
While they're talking, Cece is going to continue talking to Thomas. Right? Thomas. She's going to say, well, since you, as you can see, we are here. Ian already knows where you are. You're going to have to move out of the sewers anyways. What if we help you move out of the sewers, considering you're gonna have to move out of here anyways.
And align myself with a bunch of thieves?
You say thieves, but we are here to help you and your sister. We do not agree with this Ian and what he's done with the city. And I am here in behalf of the Thieves Guild that you are suspicious of. But you have to understand that Thieves Guild also do not favor the rule of Ian.
What's in it for you?
For me,
And this
I
Thieves Guild, there's always a catch.
oh, you know how we work. This Ian and how he works, Thieves Guild, we do not like, you know? And so if you guys come back into power, perhaps you could help the Thieves Guild out a little bit more.
And say you take me back to this, your boss, and she just has a change of heart. My head will end up on a platter, I'm sure.
Then what if we wait to introduce you to the boss until you are more confident that she is all right?
Make a persuasion roll.
All right.
Adeline would then go walking over to Exodin and kind of like tug on his whatever like sort of armor things to get him to lean down so that way she can respond to Exodin's CEO. It's like, okay, so I just talked to Decillion. Are you as confused as I am? Are we not killing them?
I will say as quietly as I can, I don't give a damn what we do. I'm just here for the coin and for the fight.
I rolled a 15 on persuasion.
Elaborate. You want me to meet this leader of the Scarlet Wolves and somehow trust my life in yours? But yet you have shown nothing of good faith. But at least you have a steady hand and you have not so quickly pulled your weapon out and shot. That I can respect. And maybe it is true, you aren't here for the bounty.
So you do understand, I think far, far ahead. This bounty, nothing compared to what I get for helping the actual royal family get back into their rightful position. I get better reward later. I'm smart, you see.
Personally, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You finish up.
Personally, I'm against all forms of corruption. And simply calling in a favor, even to the Thieves Guild, might cost all a high and mighty price. Sister, you already know what I wish. If I take back over the kingdom, we will make it a democracy that I always dreamed about. Therefore, I will never be able to hold the power to grant you your favors. So unfortunately, I don't know how much I'll be worth to your Thieves Guild after I do take over control.
I see.
Can I do an insight check on that?
Yeah.
Wait,
Cece's gonna think about that.
Sorry, I forgot to do the
Yeah.
roll.
Once you've done that,
A
I wanna say
natural
something.
2. I mean, the winces on his face and the flicker of the torchlight makes it hard to read his face
All right.
in this distance.
I'm gonna like look at the group and say I don't know much about these people. Some might be in for coins, some might be in for political favor. Then I look back at them. But if what you say is true, including your sister, then as long as it's for the people, then I'm truly willing to help. I don't care for mere coin. I'm here just to do what's best for our people.
This,
And I will kind of raise my hand real quick. I would just say it out loud. I am very confused on what is happening. Are you
Cece's going to turn around and she said, "Oh, I apologize. Maybe we should explain. So these are our bodyguards. They're not completely sure what's going on, but just know, I guess like.
Am I still being paid after the end of this? It can be from whatever it's from. I'm just curious if I'm getting money, because if not, I can just leave. I mean, I won't say where you're at, because that will, it would ruin my chances of getting something if something changes. The point is, I'm just slightly confused.
So, what it is surely you've heard about the rule of this Ian.
Yes, it's happening. It's whatever.
Yes.
It is not truly changing my day-to-day life. if I'm being honest with you.
I see.
I still go in, they steal things, post things. I go around, I say I did the job, I get paid after the job. Every once in a while, I run into a moral quandary, but usually that's about if I kill something or not. In this case, it's about ruling a kingdom. Honey, that is so above my pay grade.
Well, I can assure you, money will not be a problem.
So just so we're clear, if I follow through in your plan, I will still get my payment.
The Scarlet Wolves have amassed quite a bit of wealth.
Yes, I want that in writing. And I will pull out like a document and like just a paper and pull out things like, if I follow this plan, I will still get my cut of the money to the extent of X amount of gold pieces. Signed, my name, sign this. Otherwise I will, Hey, I'm someone who works in deals. Yes? I like things in writing.
Deals are good. I will sign.
Thank you. Okay, carry on with your plan. I'm fine with it now. Just wanted to make sure.
But I don't know what to do with my brother.
Well,
Shall we take him?
Well, people know this, are getting info about this location already. It's already not safe enough here. It's like, at least we should take him for now. At minimum, find him a better hiding spot. If we truly want at least to get the first step correct. But even though, Thomas, right?
Yes.
Thomas, even though that you say it might be crazy, it might be even deadly, but it's always the first step process we need to do. It's like, if what she says is true, that your father's dead, then nothing's gonna good to happen. The dream of democracy in your city will never come to be if a tyrant such as him is gonna be in place. Granted, I'm still skeptical, so I at least need to know more about what is truly behind this, but this is a goal I'm willing to step up for.
Cece is going to elaborate on that as well. She's going to say, so Thomas, you understand, the rebels of a tyrant are seen as thieves. And yet, to you, we are friends. Does this make sense? We are a thieves' guild in name, yes, but after your family lost power, what else could we do? What else could we do but to join the thieves' guild?
Well spoken. Well, I guess I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. And your halfling seems like you're not all a bad bunch of people. I suppose I have no choice. And you are my sister. At least you were. It is what it is. He takes a step forward, passes guards. He says, so then I will be put into custody with the Thieves' Guild.
Yes.
And we will plan to overthrow this tyrant, Ian.
Yes. That is the plan.
I've worked hard on this, brother. Don't muck it up with your purist beliefs.
Oh, yes.
So, outside those two bodyguards, how much more force do you have?
He looks down at his beat with no response.
I see. Looks like we got ourselves a good fight ahead of us.
It'll be exciting for sure. The underdog. It'll be very, very exciting.
The city will rally for its true king.
Right.
Well, I guess we'll have to start planning. Take me to where you need me to go. I'll follow you, sister. And friends.
And again, I am very sorry I had to deceive you all, but I couldn't let my brother just die and be taken when I know Ian is such a horrible, horrible man and an evil tyrant that will bring nothing but sadness and death to Stormbrook.
Well, deception to the right cause isn't the worst thing in the world.
Honey, I lie all the time. It's fine.
Weirdly enough, I can kind of tell.
Really? I couldn't tell that you could tell. Speaking of which, have I ever told you about my great fan, Sultan Eamos the Magnificent? And I'll start going on and on about about some guy that I'm talking about who could control the waters and made horses and so forth, that his experience eventually spawned the legend that became the gods and stuff. And I would just stop bullshitting the storyline out about Eamos the Magnificent.
And so I'm assuming we're taking off and heading back to the Thieves Guild. And that's kind of where we'll end our session, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll work for me.
There's no bounty, unfortunately, but at least Thomas is safe for now. That's where we'll start our next game with Alarian at the hideout of the Thieves Guild, of the Scarlet Wolves. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, that was
Yes.
great.
That was fun.
By the way, the contract says that you would pay Adeline the sum of 200 gold at minimum at the end of this.
I know that Alarian is
Oh my
behind
goodness.
our cause and has plenty of funds and is not afraid to spend them.
Cool.
Sounds like a roll.
You by the way, are we out of gameplay now?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay. There was literally like half a second before I was gonna BS my way and say, I'm the sister, because I have super good deception. And because that's what I thought we were going for, so I was just
I was really confused at the very beginning. I was just like, is she trying to like fool him? Like, is she like in disguise right now? Or like, is she actually his sister? But then after a certain point, I just like, I don't know, I kind of went with it and it worked out. It's all good.
Yeah, I think
I was
Cece
like,
really
I'm
pulled it
just
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made it seem like, oh, was this a plan the entire time?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta do that yes-anding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you guys can handle some of these more harder style games too, since you guys are all so experienced. It's like so we can get a little more complex, and as we play more, you'll understand more too, and the world will become more understandable. Cool.
It's real exciting. I love it.
Cool.
Sounds good.
I will see you guys next Sunday.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That
play
was
with you
awesome. It was great to meet you guys.
It was
hopefully-
good
You guys.
everyone.
Me too.
Hopefully
It was
the
a lot of
last guy
fun.
will show up too. So our maybe we'll meet our necromantic gnome.
All right.
We have a necromancer?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Always.
Always good to have one of those around. You know?
Yeah.